I will lead us in prayer, guys. Feel free to join us as we bow our heads and lead us into this.
Do you pray with your hands up? Do you put them out? Do you put them together? Is there a particular method
I
that you
usually
use?
put my hands out like as a give. We'll go ahead and pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day that you have given us, that we are able to wake up and rejoice that we are alive and well, and be able to enjoy the little things, which is playing video games with your friends from afar. I don't know why I'm thanking you, Lord, that we're about to play this game. Let this game be a metaphor of how we can get closer to you and be better of who you are. Be better versions of us with your light. Yes, your word is a light unto our feet and a light into my path. And Lord, that I am now still feeling the effects of what hell may be like, because my sauna of a bedroom is a good example, because my AC is still broken. And I pray that you come through and you redeem me and deliver me from the hell of my bedroom.
Oh, that's gonna be us, little barbecue nomies and Tabitha's. Okay.
Oh my gosh, I was gonna pull
Okay, this is not gonna be good. You have somebody who's afraid of heights, even in the first We've only jumped on the first one. Oh my god! I'm scared.
How are you feeling? Are you okay? Trust the process. That's us screaming.
Yelling at me.
Thanks for, making our friendship stronger, man. I feel like we've reached a new level here.
What's up? What's up, everybody? I just thought we could use a little bit of stressful prayers because our guests are nervous.
I think this one a little more than this one.
Well, I'm not a messy person,
And I don't know what I'm doing.
and then I've never done this before. I hope you can hear us because the mic's kind of far away. But yeah, I get like when I've never done anything, I'm a control freak, so I feel out of control, and I'm trying to,
So this will be like immersion therapy, something to like break you out of who you are and to push you further to who you could be.
yes, something like that.
Yeah, complete nonsense is what our guest, the ladies from Force of Light Entertainment, indicate this way, Natalie and Michelle. Yes, after a year and a half, almost of
That's
trying to
too
get you on the show.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while. Oh my gosh! But we finally made it happen, and I'm excited. I'm excited to do that. Right out the gate, though, Brett for $5 says, "I can't wait for the end results. I'm whatever Michelle comes up with. I know whatever Michelle comes up with will be amazing. Not Natalie, for the record.
Just me.
I
Just
take no
me,
offense.
because I'm Wonder Woman, so
By the way, if you give $5 around here, you automatically make it the weekend.
Today is Friday. Today is Friday.
So if you're having a rough day, you have the power to be part of the top 5 people in the chat and automatically restart the weekend. And for $2, Real Steven Stevie says, "We believe in you, Michelle and Nat." There we go. We got some Natalie. Oh my goodness. I will be saying hi to our chat throughout the show, of course. Thank you so much for being here. Hit the like button on your way. But we're going to go ahead and get started, because I know that when I'm anxious about getting started with something, the best thing to do is to just get started. So let's bring little Grogu to the stage here, and we rotate our little cameras here. And I will be guiding. If you're new around here, I teach YouTubers how to paint from time to time. And last time we had Culture Casino on, and we mixed Epcot with golf. That was super fun. But we're going to attempt to do this because, of course, when I reached out to Michelle, I'm like, "What would you like to paint?" Baby Yoda.
I thought it would be cute, and I thought he'd be easy.
Yeah.
I feel like he's actually really difficult.
It depends.
Made it more difficult had you picked C3PO.
No, this is true. It depends on the C3PO. So this is the second Grogu I've done on this channel, and I don't think it'll be the last because I've talked to somebody else and they said, "Hey, can we do Grogu?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why not?" So yeah, let's go ahead. So the thing is, ladies, when I teach people how to paint, I express this backstage, but for our viewers' entertainment, a lot of times we get intimidated by everything that's there. So what we do is take away the elements and then just start for little by little. So if we pretend that Grogu's not there, we're just basically going to paint a giant circle off to the side. So let me peel this back, put a little Grogu here, my little reference. And Cajun Corey has decided that today is also
Today is Friday. Today is Friday. And
You three look familiar. Have we met before? That's right. We have. We've met several of you.
We
And
sure
don't worry,
have.
Grace, we're going to get to chatting with you, but I figured I got to get the ladies started, get the jitters out. This is a great exercise to get the jitters out. So we're going to grab our largest brush that we have.
Okay.
There we
It's not
go.
very large.
Yeah, it's not super large.
I know we're talking about that. And then we're going to put some white. Let me get my paint palette over here and get some white. We're going to shake it up, baby, now. Shake it up. Twist and shout a little bit. I'm going to just put a pretty good size of white because we will be coming back to it from time to time. So we get some white. We're going to get a little bit of the yellow there.
A spot of yellow.
And then we're going to need some blue.
Come on, Shell.
I'm coming.
No, it's no rush. It's okay. Like I told you,
It's
ladies,
fine.
I will be a couple of steps ahead of you. I want you to see what you're in for. No, it's going to be a lot of fun. I walk away with happy campers when I teach. I don't know if it's because they're just laughing at me and the way that I approach artwork or what. I tell people all the time, one of my least favorite questions that I get as an artist is, who inspires you? And I tell them, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know you're supposed to study the greats and everything, which I kind of do, but I don't actually have one particular person. I just kind of glean from everyone. So you guys got your paints out. We're good to go, perhaps,
do.
maybe?
We
Okay.
got 'em.
I'm going to slide this back over. All right. So we're going to take white paint. Easy peasy. You cannot mess this part up. If you do, I will be impressed. So here we go. We're going to
You
just
might impress.
we're going to take some white paint here. Just on one side. See, just some white paint.
Just a little or a lot.
Yep.
Yep. Just what
I want you to feel it. So you don't want your paintbrush dripping. See, like I
Open
have
to interpretation, I see.
Yeah, of course. Thing is that also, ladies, your background and everything is going to match itself, right? And I know that sounds. I'll explain further. Hang on. So we're just going to start here, over to the side in this corner here. I'm not going to start way up here. I'm going to actually start down here. Now look at that little circle. Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, just a circle. Nothing special. Just make a nice circle.
Now
It's
your
a nice-
circle's getting bigger.
Yep, it is. It's getting a little bit bigger. And voila, we have a white circle on a white canvas. Can it get any better than that?
I like this. I can do this.
I know. And then sell it for $1 million. Am I right? So, all right, I've got that on there. Usually it's just to start because people need to know, what does it feel like to spread paint on the canvas? And I know we can't really see it, but that's okay. We're going to go back for some more white paint. And now where the fun comes in, a wee bit of blending. I'm going to take my brush and we're going to do what I like to call two-toning. So we're just going to put some yellow paint, just a wee bit, on this corner. Let me demonstrate.
Yeah.
Ta-da!
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And then with the white of our paintbrush, we're going to touch the white of our circle and kind of work our way in. Allow me to demonstrate. So I'm just going to go in a circle like that. And you see, it's not perfect. It doesn't need to be perfect because our background is not the main focus, right? That's going to be Grogu. So whatever little snafu you might make for yourself. I was going to say uncover, but might make for yourself in the background. It's okay. We could just cover it up with a flower or Grogu or something like that.
I believe I have made it.
I think I did good.
Yeah. Well, then
made a mistake.
Now
we're
we're more yellow.
no. Now I'm just using what's on my brush. I didn't go back for more, and
Oh.
we're just basically want a nice bright center, like so, but with a nice gradual fade. So what I was trying to say is that, of course, your paintings, I want this to be a reassuring little speech here. your paintings will not look like mine, and that is a good thing. The reason
Is
being
it?
is yes, because everybody's going to have their own way of painting. You also have to remember that if you're going to compare your painting to my painting, how many years of painting have you done, Michelle?
This is it.
Right. So, that's the thing. It's like comparing yourself to somebody who does this almost every day. You have to understand there's all kinds of muscles that I had to develop in my wrists and my shoulder and everything like that. So it's all going to play. And I'm also left-handed. So it all makes a difference in how your painting will turn out. And that's a good thing because that means that it's yours. Unlike AI, but that means that it will be yours. Nobody can replicate what you can do. All right, so we've got a nice circle here. We're going to get just a tad more white on one corner.
Okay.
And then now we're going to introduce a third paint. Just a touch of red. Just a touch, because as I said earlier, red is the strongest dye. You can always add more if you would like.
Okay.
You sound like I'm going to teach you skydiving.
It's serious in my mind, Tabitha.
And I like it. I like it. All right. So with the white touching our yellow, we're just going to do the same thing. Go around the sides like so.
Woo! It's getting crazy now.
Don't worry, guys. I'll get to you just in the chat in a little bit. But we got. I want to make sure Michelle gets a little comfortable doing this. Natalie, you doing okay? Okay, breathing.
I think I went too gentle with the red.
No, that's fine. That's fine because that means you can always add more. So here we go, just a little bit. And if you think it's too much red, you can always add a little more yellow.
Okay.
And it might turn it into a little bit. Well, it will turn it into a little bit of an orange. Yeah. But work with what you have right now and see what happens when you go back and forth more and more. Is that it will blend nicer.
Yes.
It gets softer. And it's okay if you want to leave streaks in this little sun that we're making here, or maybe it's a moon. We don't know what planet he's on. It's probably Batu, a planet that nobody cares about.
Exactly.
But yeah, just have fun with it. Artistic interpretation. Some people, like myself, I will say that if I were to admire somebody, it probably would be artists like Leonardo da Vinci, just because I really like what's called sfumato style of painting. This is a funky word that basically means like perfect blending. If you would stare at his art pieces, you can't tell where one color starts and another color ends. It's so well blended that it looks real.
I stared at his The Last Supper for an hour one day.
And it's so smooth. Whereas if you look at somebody like Van Gogh, excuse me, that if you look at his more impressionistic style, he likes the choppy stuff. So he likes where you can see all the stuff like this. So again, that is up to personal preference. Yeah, see, a personal preference. All right, so we've got, going this is all going on. I might get a little more white and just brighten it up a little bit. I also would like you to be encouraged to trust your instincts.
Okay.
And
I don't have any, but it comes to
well, of course. No, that's true, because everybody has to develop these things, right? So an artistic eye, you may not necessarily have it inherently. It might be something like a skill that you need to develop. So that's as I teach you my ways, Grasshopper, you will learn what looks good to you. Once you learn how to do something, you can then mold it to the way that you like. So I've got a nice funky looking thing going on here. Took up a pretty good space. What I'm going to do now, as my grandmother calls me, I'll just put it to the side.
Randy, not now. Not now.
I can't abandon Michelle in her time.
She's deep in the trenches.
She's deep in the my gosh. It's okay. She's only 85. She'll still be with us. Anyway, that was dark humor.
She'll be around with us for a long time.
She will. She's a tough old gal. I'm going to get some more white. I got a little too much, but I'm going to get a little more white. And now we're going to get radical and get some blue. Just a touch of the blue.
Where's this blue going?
Anywhere you like, but I am going to put it on the outside here. So I'm just going to start in my little corner like this and go back and forth a couple of times. Do we know anything about color theory?
No.
Okay, so I'm just pop quiz. What happens when you mix red and blue?
You get purple.
Purple. So you do know, you liars. You do know.
Okay.
Okay. You just probably didn't know what the name was.
I mean, I know eyeshadow.
See,
Yeah, you should be good at this, Natalie.
beauty
There's
and
different
brains.
mediums.
Okay. All right. Michelle, I thought you went to college. Didn't you get your PhD in something? Wait.
And
Don't even know what blue and purple, red make. And then I start up in that corner so that way I get a feel for it, because when you're going to be adding darker colors, it's very difficult to come back from that.
Yeah.
So you just kind of work your way. Now you know how that effect will be with the rest of the paint. So we're going to go around the circle. Just like
Okay.
so. How's it going? What is
It's
it
going
looking like,
good.
a circle of color?
Yeah.
Mine's looking quite different from either of yours.
Oh my gosh.
Well, okay. Well. So, what does it look like? How's it
Tell
go?
me what it looks like. Maybe art is like a life. Like it looks like a big mess, but it's a masterpiece because it's ours.
No. It looks like the sun really close. So, what I recommend, it's actually easy fix. What I recommend, do you have blue in your brush?
Yeah, blue.
Okay, that's all right. So on your towel, your paper towel, whatever you have, just basically, hang on. My towel is like, I'm using it while I'm here. So like, just pat out the excess that you have.
Well, I just cleaned the brush a little because I was thinking this seems a little
No, I
intense.
think it's fine. I think Tabitha, tell me, could she not just put a little white in there?
Yay! She went to college,
Just
everybody. Yeah,
clean up the red with some white. Put some white. Just clean it up.
it'll dilute it, make it a little more pink, and
Yeah.
everything. And you could even add a little more yellow, just
Yeah.
a tiny bit of yellow in there,
You know what I'm saying?
and
Just
it will make
something.
that orange kind of color. And we're gonna want to take up some space because this is our background. So feel free to glide over there. While they're doing that, let me just go ahead and show you what we're gonna aim for. Okay, and as I patted out my excess, I gotta
Yeah, well,
restock my
blue.
paint here. So as we're going out, we're basically wanting our blue to get darker. So I'm leaving the white in the brush, right?
Yeah.
And then just adding more blue as I go around. And the more you go over it, the more you blend, the softer it's going to be. And we're gonna fill it up.
There you go. There you go.
Here we go. And this is all it is. We're basically just making circles. It's like a aerobics class in the 80s. Circles,
Yeah.
circles,
I wish I
circles.
could take an aerobics class in the 80s.
Jazzercise.
I wasn't around in the 80s, so I wouldn't want to say that I wish I could have because I wasn't there. But 90s were pretty great. So,
Yeah. They
we
were.
had some funky stuff for ourselves in the 90s too. So, metallic
yeah.
lipstick, frosted tips, baggy pants on men. I wish we could have skipped that phase, but it's okay. Whatever. You can live and learn.
I
Where's
need to
some
see.
ELYSA?
I need to see how low this blue is going on your canvas. Are you taking up the whole thing?
We gonna take up the whole thing.
Oh, dang.
Yes. I'm
Yeah.
into it.
No, and it's all good. Again, if it looks slightly different from mine, that is okay. So let
That's
me
part
give
of
you
art,
some
baby.
let me give you some science about this too, because I've had a lot of people that they get disappointed when their painting doesn't look exactly like mine. As I've already stated, there's no way that it could look exactly like mine. I will guarantee you that by the time I'm done with this painting, it won't even look exactly like the one that I did the first time. It's always gonna be
Right.
So, but the difference is again experience. I have different experience. I'm also left-handed. All of this is impactful. But the other thing is too is that be encouraged that if your painting looks like maybe your
Your
son.
painting looks like Natalie.
She's like, if it looks bad,
No, if your son looks smaller than mine, you just think of it that it's further away from your
Yeah.
grow, right? It's just
Yeah.
further away. That's all.
Okay.
Or if it's bigger than mine, it just feels like it's closer up. It's a more intense kind of sun. The fact that we're doing science fiction gives us a lot of leeway
That's
I
into
love that.
our picture. That's why I often, try to encourage people when they're trying to start drawing, pick fantasy.
Yeah.
There's no
Because you can't mess that up as much.
Yeah, I tell people
Okay,
start with
cool.
dragons. I know they seem intimidating, but you can't really mess up a dragon. If you've seen How to Train Your Dragon and all the variety that they come in, some have necks, some have no necks, some have underbites. Like you can't mess it up, and it gives you the experience to learn how to draw the dragon you would like to learn to draw.
Yeah.
Well, while the ladies are finishing up their backgrounds, you're all good, by the way. Like I said, I'd be
Oh,
a
I guess I'll need
ahead of
to
you so you
pick
could
it up
see
a
what it's
little.
like. We did get to greet several people in the chat, but for those that I may have missed, let me see. Oh, KB over there. We got a lot of people. I'm gonna play
Hey,
it one
KB.
time for all the people out there that decided to make. You know what? I'm gonna for funsies. I'm gonna play the most favorite whimsical dinosaur because we have several five. Just to gather all of you in one place and make you the top people of the chat. KB for $5 says, "Have fun, Michelle. Just let go." I know it's hard.
Yes.
Have fun also, Natalie. Be one with.
Basically, he's saying just let go, use the force, Luke.
Yeah, that's right. Unlearn what you have learned. Yeah, paint with your eyes closed. Reggie said, "This is cool. You guys will do fine." Deranged Lunatic for 199 says, "Michelle, are you going to be preaching Palm Sunday?"
I am not. I will be
Even?
attending church though.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Mhm.
Okay, so some people might know, some people might not, but I grew up in Central America, palm leaves abundant, right? And I didn't know that it wasn't normal for churches to not bring palm leaves into the church for Palm Sunday.
Okay, yeah.
Interesting.
We always did it like that. And so I spent the first part of my life growing up that way. So when I came to America and people, I'm like, where you guys don't celebrate Palm Sunday? And they're like, well, not, I mean, like we celebrate it. Like, where are all your palm leaves? Like we would put them on the wall, we would put them on the floor. Like they were everywhere.
Why do I always feel like you're from Canada and then you're not from Canada?
What gave you the idea that I was from Canada?
I don't know. In my mind, you're always originally from Canada, but then you're not. Every time
That
I'm
is
like, oh, that's
first
right. She's
time.
not from Canada.
Who's from
Okay.
Canada that you know?
I know a lot of people from Canada.
I
Well, I
do
know
too.
you do.
I'm a little offended though. No offense to our neighbors to the north. No,
I
that's the first I've ever gotten Canada. A lot of people for the past 15 years have asked if I'm either from Georgia or from Texas.
Oh, are you?
Interesting.
Okay.
Because I've spent so much of my time in the South, I developed a Southern drawl.
A little bit of a
And-
twang.
Yeah,
And
because
it-
didn't you spend time in North Carolina or somewhere?
Yeah, before I moved to Florida, I spent most
Okay.
of my time in Virginia and North Carolina, and all of my
Virginia.
friends were from Virginia down. So,
Okay.
I'm not sure what this means, but Mars Monkey Max says we brought bath salts.
Hey,
There might be a context missing for that. I don't know if I can get to it. John Graber says, "Oh yay." I still hope that someone does a Chinese chicken.
hey,
I'm
cool.
sure there's a story between that. John Thomas is all hail Queen. Oh, thank you. Queen Tabitha. Classic Monsters and Sci-Fi Fun says we need happy little trees. No trees today, but there will be foliage. Can guarantee. Andy Masterson, hello. I'm just trying to make sure I don't miss you guys. If I did, I apologize. There's a lot of you here and I appreciate you. Ralph and T, more white Tabitha. It's the only kind I have. That's who I am. I'm very European. What are you gonna do? Just saying how it is. You've been skydiving, says Cajun Corey. By the way, I see Cajun Corey, Grape, and Retro Collective over there on Kick. Good to see you guys. Just trying to go through. Oh my goodness, there's a whole bunch of people talking. T-Rex 007. We bring Paul leaves into my church. I'm losing. Okay, all right. There you go. And inside the booth, hello, how are you? Hey, Dan, I assume. Oh my gosh.
I'm good.
So,
Now
by the
I'm
way,
on my work, so I'm going back to fix it.
once you're done with your paintbrush, you're gonna want to rinse it off because we
Yeah, I didn't rinse good, and now I'm having to fix.
Be careful with fixing. I'm gonna give you a little tidbit. This section down here, we're gonna cover up. So if you make a little mistake down here, don't worry.
Down there, unfortunately.
We can always put some happy little clouds in the sky if we have to. Grogu is also going to take up a pretty good chunk, so don't forget that. It's I try to encourage people, like, don't try to focus on the things that you could just cover up. Like, don't worry about the things you're not going to see later on.
Oh, you're going to see this though. I got to fix it.
Okay, well. Real Steven TV asks, how's your confidence level, ladies? Mine's great. Thanks for asking.
Mine was good until I tried to fix it.
Mine's super high, regardless of what's happening here.
See, she's just living life. Live, laugh, love, eat, pray, more, something like that.
I live in the dream.
There's a lot of philosophical fun that can be had in a lot of life lessons to be learned in
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, some of the stuff you've been saying, you're like making me think on a different level too. I like that.
Oh yes, not my first time of saying something absolutely phenomenal, and I surprised myself because I'm like, dang, that was good. That was deep.
Like sometimes we even impress ourselves.
I do. When I paint and I talk about it, I'm like, oh, I'm a fortune cookie maker.
Yes.
No,
it brings it out of you.
But it's true. It's true. I think that's why, there's such the controversy these days when it comes to art and its interpretation, whether it's AI or just modern art. It doesn't seem to connect us with, I don't want to say ourselves, but like there's something about artwork that makes you think, consider, ponder, should I say, the meaning of life, life's difficulties. I've learned a lot about life through painting, whereas, like I said, don't focus on the things that you're never going to see and nobody's ever going to see. Mistakes, Bob had it right. They're happy little accidents. You always learn from the mistakes that you make. And that's true.
Amen.
If you're a gamer, it just means you get XP points, And sometimes the things that we notice the most that are visible, people don't even see. How many times have you gone out in life and you're like, oh, my lipstick's the wrong color, or I have acne on my face, or whatever the case might be, and nobody had a clue. It was
nobody's thinking about it except for us. Yeah,
nobody's thinking about it.
So common.
I one time went to church years ago, and I'm fickle about my hair. If I even think that it's greasy, I can't. My day is ruined. I'd rather go outside without makeup than clean hair. And one time I ran out of time. I didn't plan properly, and I went to church, and I'm like, I'm disgusting. I look like I came out of a sewer. And everybody was giving me compliments that day about how beautiful my hair was. And I'm like, but it's gross. Apparently, my hair looks good. Gross is what I learned.
You got that good gross hair.
Exactly. But it's not what you were thinking. I totally get that.
And so we tend to focus on the mistakes more than anybody else does. And if you don't talk about it, typically nobody notices. So that's what I've learned with artwork. DL for 199 says, Tabitha, are you going to end up with hiccups again? Hey, I don't want to talk about it. Okay, that was embarrassing the other night. I was gaming with my friend Nomi. By the way, that was my friend Nomi without you. We game over on Kick, dreaming_Tabitha, from our couples therapy session where we played Chained together. We were playing Fortnite the other night, and I developed the embarrassing hiccups. Oh my gosh, it's hard to play a first person or a shooter game with hiccups. You can't be taken seriously. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Steven TV, I did sleep good last night. DL for another 199. Thank you guys. Thank you. Tabitha, are you going to sing Firstborn? No, it's not Christmas time. You hush your mouth. Oh, that's a whole other kind of story. I'd have to get my brother on. Bless his heart.
Okay, I probably should have not messed with it in the beginning, but I feel I fixed it better than I feel it's okay.
Yeah. Okay, good. You'd be surprised. We might just have to slap a flower on it or something like that, and here it is. But
Are
okay.
these your brushes, Nelly? That's mine.
This one's mine. I think that one's yours.
Okay.
What, Tabitha? How do you feel?
Pretty good.
How did yours rise faster than mine?
Because she was done sooner.
How do you feel about giving this little puppy right here? Right here, that would be some sun rays, like some little.
Oh, like Save Tibet rays?
Like some little yellow rays, just because it looks like a meteor.
An impending doom to Grogu.
I'm not sure if it's peaceful. I'm not sure what it's trying to say.
No, well, I mean, you could. It does kind of look like a planet or something like that off in the distance, which again, I mean, you could always make a ring around it to make it look like Saturn, or you could totally do rays. For the sake of helping Natalie visualize what that could potentially look like, I will deface. No, I will change up
She's
mine.
gonna deface hers for you.
Look, so we know this is what we were going for, right? But
Yeah.
so that way you might have an idea with
How does-
yours.
how
I
does
would
yours
recommend.
look so amazing.
Because she's Tabitha.
I've been painting for 7 years. So I'm gonna rinse my brush off, and then I'm gonna pat it like this. It's still gonna be a little damp, which is okay. I'm gonna get a little bit. What I would recommend is that I get a little bit of white on the brush, not a lot, and just a tiny bit of the yellow. Now, this is how Tabitha does it, okay? Just trust the process.
Yeah,
I know,
yeah.
Michelle, don't scream, okay? Don't yell at me. But I'm gonna take my finger and just kind of dab it like this, okay? Because that will take some off, but spread it thinly. Then I'll just wipe it on my towel, because acrylic paint, you see, it comes off real easy.
Yeah, it does.
And then I would just gently, like when I say gently, I'm going to hold it back here, because this usually means like it's looser feeling, like if you hold it back further away, and just kind of just gently. I know you can't really see it, but that's okay. Let me do it again so you can see it, because you want to start out with less. Let me mix that again. Maybe I should do it in the darker area too, but here.
Ah.
My light might be a little dark. Let me turn that off. I don't know if you can see that better.
So white first, and then just a touch of yellow.
Yeah, just the touch. So what happens also when your brush is wet, if you'll notice, it starts to naturally divide like this. And that's good. That's why we also touch it. We kind of want to encourage these divisions, so that when we're doing our little light rays, it's not just a big smudge of like paint, but it's actually rays like that. And just some little ones in there. Somehow I accidentally got red in there. Am I going to cry about it? Nah. And then just something simple like that. I don't know if that translates well on the camera.
Nelly, what are you doing?
I'm doing what she's doing.
In
Are
her
you-
own way.
Okay.
In my own special way.
It's special.
It is special. And it is unique.
Should I go clean out the water? We got blue milk, man.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. I have blue milk too. That's
Okay.
okay. It's Star Wars. That's
It is
Star Wars.
Let me clear this out.
Stephen TV says it's a spicy chicken nugget in the sky. Well, so we know that Michelle doesn't have a lot of experience with painting. What about you, Natalie?
I do not. No, I'm not. I like makeup, and I mean, I guess that's a form of painting in its own way.
Yeah.
But the traditional art, no. I had like one art class in high school, but that's about the extent of it.
Yeah. It's not for everybody, but it's definitely something. That's why they call it like art therapy. It's not for everybody, but there are times in our lives where it's nice to just create something for no reason.
Oh, totally. Well, I'd like to do it more. And it's like I haven't done it much, but I still consider myself an artistic person. It just maybe like it's channeled in other ways or something.
Absolutely.
But I would love to like do more of this because and I heard something one time and it made sense to me. Like when you're creating art or even coloring or like, but when your mind is focused on that, like your brain is incapable of really thinking about other problems. Like while you're creating something,
Mm-hmm.
and that could be a variety of different things, but it kind of like your brain just kind of shuts everything else out. So I think that's why it's probably it's healthy, even definitely like to creating or just taking the time to do stuff like this.
And exactly right, which is why it's called art therapy. And I always give this example as well. It's a way to express yourself without realizing that we will inherently express ourselves in our artwork, whether we realize it or not. For example, I had a friend who, unfortunately, her mother died of cancer right before her mother passed away. This was when she was a teenager. Right before her mother passed away, hospice came in and they deal with the children and they have their methods. Now, my friend was not necessarily artistic. She really it wasn't her thing. I think she was about 13 or 14 at the time. And she was explaining to us, she was so angry, of course, because her mom was passing away. And she's like, and this woman comes in and she tells me, and she's all cynical and everything. And she's like, and this woman tells me and my brother she gave us paper plates with crayons and she told us to draw whatever we felt like on it. She's like, she's like, I didn't want to do that. She's like, so I just took it, grabbed the red crayon and just scribbled all over it.
And that's okay.
Well, the ironic part is, because a lot of times what happens in these unfortunate circumstances is that we tend to bottle up our
colors.
Oh yeah.
we tend to bottle up our emotions and our feelings, right?
Yeah.
So art is a way for many people to express themselves because my friend, she was a very emotionally private person. So she didn't realize it, but this was actually a professional helping her to express herself without having to say it, because red is typically the color of aggression or passion. It's usually a color of passion. If it is your choice to grab red, you're usually passionate, either in a positive or a negative way. So in this case, she was angry and she scribbled all over that paper plate because she thought she was just like, this is stupid. I'm just going to treat this like it's something dumb, which was the whole point, was just to let out frustration for no reason, if you will. So it's just kind of funny that as I've gotten older now, again,
for so many reasons. Yeah,
it's a horrible circumstance that she had to go through, but it's just funny how the professional, when it's like there was a reason for it. So that's why I say very therapeutic. You don't have to paint something beautiful or draw or sculpt something beautiful for it to make you feel good.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You hear that, Michelle?
It's kind of like I love to sing and dance, and I think even science will back that up. Like it releases endorphins, and I'm not particularly good at either, but it's kind of like it doesn't stop me from doing those things.
Listen, Natalie's son.
Hey, I caught that 50K stream. I know there was some dancing going on.
Natalie's son looks like it would be on Teletubbies.
It does.
You put a baby face in your son? What can I see? Can we see?
Let's see. For some reason, I guess I use more paint. Mine's more wet than hers.
Oh, look at the Save Tibet rays. Oh, I like. I do. Well, because Michelle has like the more scratchy, like I said before, like the choppy brushstrokes, and I kind of like it because it kind of makes it look like there's clouds in your sky.
I'm a choppy girl.
Without having to have them in there. It also kind of gives a ripple effect of like water, which is really cool. And then
I like how you took my crap and you made it beautiful. And she's like,
that's what Jesus does, okay?
That's right.
I'm just saying. Hey, one of my favorite sayings is broken crayons still color.
That's true.
Oh, I love that. My senior year, a guy, I don't know if that's like his original quote, but he came and gave like an inspirational
I remember
thing.
that.
Do you remember
Yeah.
that? And that like that stuck with me. And I remember I had like a bookmark or
Yeah.
something that said that. Yeah.
True. I mean, hey, we love Jesus around here.
Yeah.
How many broken people have you witnessed that God put their life back together and used them in a beautiful way?
Yes.
Totally.
There you go. Dude McMahon says, looks better than mine. All I have is MS Paint and mine looks like the Walmart logo. Well, that's fine. Everybody loves Walmart. It's everybody's home away from home.
Is he doing it too? Is he painting Grogu?
I was just say, are you guys painting along with us? Let us know. Brett says, have you considered using airbrush for painting? I only use airbrush for painting cookies. I don't do that in my artwork anymore. It's cool. I don't need it. All right. So while we're I don't know. Is your background dry yet?
I think mine needs a couple minutes.
Okay.
Natalie seems a lot drier than mine.
Yeah.
I think I used more paint.
This is also a contributing factor. How thickly you apply the paint will determine the dry time. Obviously, we understand that. Well, so let's get to know the ladies. So you had your 50K celebration.
We did.
We did.
Snaps all around. And I was saying in the chat how I remember the days of the 3000.
Yes.
That was a while ago. And I was I remember when your background was just like Star Wars stuff.
Yeah, it was. It was like exclusively. Now we got all
And-
kinds of stuff back there.
I know. I just saw the UFO one when you were gone earlier. Says
Yeah, there we go. The X-Files. I want to believe.
But like, what got you started with Force of Light Entertainment? I don't think I've ever heard that story. If you mind sharing.
So I guess I can say it on this channel. I actually was like in prayer, like prayed, and I first felt led to do the Force of Light podcast, like a Christian podcast, which I do have, and I need to do more of. But I upload something about once a month, once every 2 months on that one. But then I also had the idea of like doing because I love to talk about movies, doing a entertainment.
I can confirm for years and years.
Yeah, an entertainment podcast. And so because I want to do both, I still have it. The first name I wrote down was Forces of Light. And then I immediately marked out the S and was like, no, just Force of Light. And that's how I decided. I went Force of Light podcast and Force of Light Entertainment to distinguish the two. And that's how we started.
What about you, Natalie? Like, were you into? I get the impression that you. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you strike me a lot as my sister-in-law, who kind of was. I don't want to say coerced, but like the nerd life. You had to come into the nerd life. It didn't necessarily come to you naturally. Yeah, it didn't find you. Yeah. Well, maybe.
In a weird way.
Listen, Natalie's about to get her own paint thing if she keeps mixing my paint so bad.
Somebody needs to let go and relax. It's okay. It's okay, Michelle.
But you know what? And it's something, and for me, I can say it's honestly one of those things. So when she came to me about it, and it was originally just, an audio podcast.
It was
one of those things she asked me, and you ever have those things, that you're just like, yes, your spirit's like, yes, but you don't even really know why you're agreeing to this. Like, why, but I think, now like 50K later,
you're like, it was a good choice.
I think it's safe to say, yeah, it's good to follow that when you feel that prompt.
It's good to realize Michelle has good ideas.
That's also that
was the lesson that was supposed to be learned.
So the lesson is, guys, if Michelle gives you an idea, she's prayed about it and just do it because it will be successful is what I'm understanding.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness. Well, so if you're not, how would you say on a scale, if there can be one for both of you, is your nerd life? Like, Michelle, I'm going to assume you've got pictures, posters, jewelry, t-shirts. Natalie?
Yeah, I mean, I've got
Wonder Woman. Natalie, do you have little earrings of little Grogu?
She's not really a nerd.
Oh, is she a faux nerd?
She's a posing nerd.
She's a poser.
she is.
Goodness. Well, so what's your niche then? Do you
What-
have one?
What was your question?
Do you
Do you
have
have-
anything nerd?
Well,
No, you don't.
I
Doesn't.
do like Star Wars, you know, and I do like
And you like
some,
you like Stranger Things, but you don't like it enough that like you're rocking a Stranger Things top.
well, I would just express it in a different way.
Right.
I'm not a t-shirt girl, but and so you know, you got to stay true to yourself, and I have to respect myself in that way. And if that means not being a t-shirt girl, then so be
But are
it.
you not going to wear the T-shirt Steven sends you of our logo?
For that, I will make an
That
exception.
sounds like a
good
that
shirt.
sounds like a conversation you ladies need to have behind the scenes.
Like, I feel like it's a good shirt.
No, for that I'll make an exception.
I like it.
But no, I do, and I do love Stranger Things. So I would say I love some things. I'm nerd adjacent.
I like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like that for a long time, and then like I said, I find my little niches. I know I've got like a bunch of like Pokemon on my shelf and stuff like that. I love the idea of Pokemon. I don't really know jack squat about Pokemon. I just really like the cute creatures, you know. But I
Is
am
that
a
what it-
big
Is that what appeals to you? Is mainly like the visual, the creatures, or the little yeah.
No, I love a good story. So I also big Star Wars fan. Stargate SG-1, huge fan. Lord of the Rings is the franchise that changed my life.
Okay.
Those are
It-
really good.
Hey, I
Yeah.
feel like you liked because we reacted to the first episode of Firefly.
Yeah.
Don't you like it?
Oh yeah,
That's
shiny.
what I thought I remembered you saying at Dollywood that you liked Firefly,
I'm
and that
s-
one guy was talking about
I'm
it.
so ready to see the next episode.
I
Oh,
know, we
it
need to
is-
react to it.
You're gonna be like the rest of us. You're gonna be so disappointed when you get to the last episode.
And it's over.
But there is a movie.
Oh, there's a movie?
There's a movie, but you have to watch the TV show. You can't
Okay.
watch the movie first and then watch the TV show. So yeah, I could say I can cherry pick from different franchises, but I also am a big Harry Potter fan. But I love fantasy, and I love a good story is for me what it is,
You
what
know,
it is.
maybe it's just because we watched
Yeah.
it like so much older. Like I'm clearly not the age demographic for Harry Potter, you know. But it's like
You're
like,
the same age as I am.
Well, I know, but you probably started watching it when you were a kid.
Like you're
No.
more developed.
Oh, she's like,
We
no,
weren't
no.
okay. We weren't allowed. All right, like we weren't allowed to watch Harry Potter growing up.
I
So
understand. That was a big debate.
we went through a time period where everything was wrong and evil.
Yeah,
Hey.
I understand. I
Hey,
understand.
you know, the satanic panic, very real.
I
But
think most movie reaction channels like ours like probably came from Christian households.
probably, and you know what? I always want to give a shout out to my parents, especially as we see Hollywood unfolding these days.
Yeah.
Thank you for overly protecting me and my brother.
Yeah.
Shout out mom and dad, because
Because Hollywood's crazy.
Hollywood is it, you know. Anyway, that's
Natalie, you're making yours worse. Like all of a sudden hers has become like the communist sign. Like what is this?
okay. Well, remember when we talked about how art kind of reveals what's inside?
Girl, you're gonna have to put some white up in that. Like, no.
Real TV for $5 is
what
Michelle
she
and
does.
Natalie. You two make the perfect team. Your personalities complement each other, and that make all the videos and streamings entertainment. Oh my gosh.
Look at this.
Thank you. I've said for years we are kind of the odd couple. Like,
Look,
truly.
what is that?
It's the Tibetan flag. That's what it is. So
Sorry,
I
Michelle, that's
are we
what it
I
is.
have
I'm really good about
this
mine.
I have the sneaky suspicion that we're in the dabbling stage, which means we need to move on really quickly. Somebody's-
Leave it too long.
So
I don't know
I
how she got rid of all the red.
okay. So I've got my brush. I'm going to clean my brush off. I'm going to wipe it off on my towel. We're using the same brush. I'm going to show you a cool trick here in a second.
Okay,
What
so
I'm
you're
going
going
to
back
do,
to the thick brush.
I have not left the thick brush. That's right.
Okay, I've used like every brush I have.
Somebody
follow
doesn't
that
like
detail.
listening to the teacher. Someone can't follow instruction. Did I say switch brushes? I don't think I did.
I do what I want, girl.
Same here. Same here. I can't blame you. It is hard to teach adults to do anything when they're so independent. Anyway, we're going to get a little bit of white, a little bit of red.
Okay, let me clean
Just
my
like-
brush off more.
Oh my god.
It's struggling. I already messed up the water. It's already blue milk again.
It's okay. It's fine because it's okay. It's not gonna hurt. It's not gonna hurt. T-Rex 007. My mom did not want my brother and I watching The Simpsons. We weren't allowed to watch The Simpsons either. So
I don't feel like we were disallowed to watch The Simpsons, but I didn't really watch.
I don't feel
them.
like it was. Yeah, but probably wasn't like encouraged.
Yeah.
Okay,
it
so I
definitely
have
wasn't
to rat out my mom. Okay, so of course my parents were overly protective of us because they loved us and wanted to be careful with, that they were,
Yeah.
the Bible talks about what you let in, it doesn't
Yeah.
leave you. So be careful, eyes and ears, what you hear, for the Father up above, looking down in love, all that stuff. If you grew up in church, but I remember one time we were not allowed to watch Rugrats. Okay. And so my parents told us that there were a lot of cartoons we couldn't watch because it had what they were taught. They were a young couple. Hey, it was their first time being parents. They just want to be good parents, right? So, but they were told that a lot of cartoons had satanic influences, right? So then Rugrats came along and all the cool kids were watching Rugrats. I was not allowed to watch it. So for years, I was under the impression that Rugrats had some kind of heinous symbology, whatever. And I got to be a teenager or I don't know, young adult. And I asked my mom, I was like, so what was it about Rugrats that was bad? Like,
what was the big thing?
That was so, it was so influential. And she's like, oh, I just thought it was stupid.
She's like, it was dumb.
It was dumb. So I kind of wonder if maybe that was the thing with The Simpsons too. My mom just didn't want to waste her time watching silly adult cartoons. So, all right, what we're going to do really quickly here is we're not going to take it too seriously, Michelle. We're just going to go sideways. I'm going to hold my
I do
papers.
everything serious, Tabitha.
Oops, excuse me. Sorry, wrong screen. So do I, which is why I paint now. So here we go, back and forth like this.
So what did you put on your brush?
White and red. We're going to make
There,
like
an order to putting this on the brush.
She'll don't overthink it.
I
overthink everything. Now,
I
leave me
know.
alone.
I'm going to let you
out.
feel it out. This is where feelings come into play. We basically want like a light pink, but because of our blue background, it will kind of have some purple look to it. So,
okay.
have fun. Gosh darn it. So we're just going to.
Whereas my painting says, I don't have a care.
Your painting definitely says you don't have a care in the world.
And that's good.
Because I trust
She said, and that's good.
the Father's plan.
Gosh. The father's like, you need to follow Tabitha a little better.
It's all in the bad artwork, guys.
Well, and again, I mean, that's the thing too. It's like they're like, oh, art is subjective. There's no such thing as bad art. Yes, there is. Okay.
It's
Yes, there
right
is.
here.
Tabitha, in my devotional reading today, I was in Acts where Tabitha, gets sick and dies. And
Shout out to Tabitha for dying.
And the Lord uses Peter to raise her from the dead.
That's right. Do you know how many church people don't know Tabitha's in the Bible?
Yeah, it's
I read
true.
about her just within the last couple weeks, I guess, in the New Testament.
Yeah, it's Acts.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying.
Nobody cares. That's fine. Everybody thinks I'm named after Bewitched. It's okay. It's
Was
fine.
there was a Tabitha and Bewitched?
Apparently, I wasn't allowed to. I didn't watch that show either. She was.
I haven't watched that show in so long.
Or maybe it was her daughter. Was Tabitha the actual witch, or was that her daughter?
I've never seen it, so I don't know.
Okay, I remember
it's
watching
been
it
a
on TV.
while.
Not like what was that? What was the where
Like
it showed the late
Nick at Night.
Nick
or
at Night?
Land?
Yeah,
it showed the oldies.
it would show the oldies, but I've not
like,
seen it.
Like the oldies.
I've not seen it in so long.
And like Dreaming of Jeannie. Or,
Yeah.
I Dream of Jeannie. I've never seen it before, so I couldn't tell you. All I know is that they look at me, they're like, "Oh, Bewitched." I'm like, "No, the Bible, same thing." I mean, I'm like,
Why is mine so much redder than yours?
I think
possibly it has to do with the amount.
Oh, good Lord. Well, yeah, you're going to need to mix some white in, honey. Good Lord.
I mean, unless you want
some
the
white.
red planet from Star Trek, Natalie might not know what I'm talking about, but
I've never watched Star Trek. Now, shout out to KB who sent us the full series, so I'll have to watch it at
that's
some
true.
point.
wait, which series?
He got us. I'll have to go in there and get it. He got us the whole TV Star Trek series, like the original.
Oh, the original. Okay, because
Yeah.
there's Next Gen, there's Deep Space Nine.
I think he sent us maybe Next Gen as well, but he sent us the whole like original. I think William Shatner.
I am a Next Gen gal, I will say. Picard will be
what?
always my captain.
Tabitha,
Jean-
oh, there's hers. Why is hers darker than mine? This is gonna irk me.
Because I
Okay.
think she has more dark blue mixed in.
So what I will also let you know, ladies, that it also depends. This is another reason why your paintings will not look exactly like mine. It depends on the consistency of the paint. Each brand has their own
Okay.
formula. So
That's cool.
unfortunately, I purchased a while ago a cheaper supply set. Ha! And so what that means is that these paints are a little bit thinner than
Okay.
other paints that I might have. So that might be the reason why. But as long as it just kind of has this whisper of red, whisper of white, lots of red, lots of white, whatever looks pretty to you. Hey, Isom Impact, I see you over there. Conroy 1776 says, this conversation would not be helpful for me. I'm not sure which one you were talking about because we talk about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we talked about a lot.
But yeah, so we've got this. Now, we don't necessarily need this to dry. I'm going to show you ladies a really fun thing before we get on to Grogu. And then it's
Man,
all
hers
going to
is
take
so
off.
much bigger than mine.
I
My son's like in the distance.
Well, at least yours isn't right up on it. Everything.
I will say that is one thing, as even in 7 years of teaching people how to paint the sun, I am always forgetful to remind them to take up space because I, sillily enough, am under the impression that they will see what I am doing and mimic that. So,
We're
It's
slow
not-
over here.
it's something. No, I think it's something about the human psyche or something like that, where it's like if when you're nervous, if you're not explicitly told, it doesn't matter if you're shown.
Yeah.
So
Right. It's like math class. They'd
Yeah.
go over it for like 10 minutes, like the teacher, in like a public school class,
Mhm.
like 24 other kids, and she'd be like, "Do you understand, Natalie?" And I'd be like didn't understand any of it, but I'd be like, "Yeah."
I'm the same way. I need you to explain it about 17 different times, and I need it drawn on there with colors and like. All right. So the really cool thing we're about to do.
I'm making
Remember
my son bigger now.
No, don't touch your background. Don't touch your. It's gonna be great. Trust me, it's
But
gonna
is
be
it?
great. It is. Yes. Grogu is going to take up a significant part of your painting, and then we can always cover things up with some beautiful flowers. So what's really cool, I'm going to show you right here. Let me make the screen a little bigger so it
Happy accidents.
this is going to be a happy intentional. So we're going to, once again, we've been doing the same thing over and over quite a bit now. So this is all working its way up to us to this point. All right, we're going to dip one side of our brush into the white and the other side into the yellow like this. Okay. And then I'm just going to go like this, like dab it just a little bit back and forth. I want the line between the white and the red just to merge, just to smudge a little bit there. Now, here we go. With the white facing upwards, right? I'm holding my brush sideways like this, like vertically, right? Long ways up and down. Do not worry if these first few petals look ugly, okay? Because again, we can cover them up. They're going to be in the background. We're going to be doing this quite a bit, so we will get the hang of it. I'm start over here in the corner because whenever you're starting something new that you're not necessarily comfortable with, you never want to start right in the center.
Okay.
Right.
One reason why we also started with the sun, we want to get, we started off with white, we started off in the corner, get used to it. All right, so with this up, I'm going to press down on the red first, not the whole thing,
Okay.
at an angle, press down and flick down like that. Now, again, I've been doing this for a while, so
Okay,
I
I
know
did
what
it.
I'm doing.
I feel good about that.
You did it?
On my level, yeah.
Good, good.
On
Okay.
beginner's level.
All right. And then we're going to go next to it, do it again. But they're all going to look different, and that's okay because the paint's going to start to wear away. But just do that and rotate it
Okay,
make-
so this.
and do it maybe about 5 petals per flower or something like that.
Sweet.
When you
Alright, I got-
if you got one flower, then we're going to go and re-dip the paint into the white, into the red, dip a
Don't
little
mix
bit.
the white.
Yeah, try not to mix them back and forth because you will then need to wipe it off your brush and start over because otherwise the paints, you won't be able to see the differences in your
I'm about to get
petals.
my own painting.
Yeah, you ladies, learn to share. You probably heard that your whole life.
Exactly.
All right, and then now, honestly, we can just kind of put them where we want to. If we want to, Michelle, if we want to put them up a little bit higher on the horizon line, we can do that to kind of fill in some of our sun. I like to start in the center, push down, push down. It's kind of like making little thumbprints. And this is a nice, easy, fun way to make flowers that look a lot fancier because there's a subtle blend, but it's two-tone. Hey, Forgotten Man, how are you? Been watching Tabitha for a while now, and I still don't know what she's talking about. Such a man. I'm just kidding. Just like a man. Thanks for being here. And so, yeah, I'm just going to
Through. Okay.
put them wherever my heart's desires. This is where you have room for creative liberty. I know it's Michelle's favorite thing. Natalie, you're gonna love it. We will be returning to the flowers later if we want to. So I will let you in on a secret, Michelle. I messed up Grogu's hand, but you know what I did? Stuck a flower over it. See? But you can't tell, so now it makes it look like there's some depth in there.
Ooh.
And if you want to make the petals look a little bigger, you push down just a little bit harder, not too hard, but a little harder. It'll flare the bristles out to make wider petals. So then you can have a variety.
Oh, I flared all right. Flared big time. Flared into a hydrangea around here.
I love hydrangeas.
Me too.
I do too. They're one of my favorites.
They are good. So while we're making our flowers, hopefully it's not taking too much concentration power. Hey, Jabba
It's
the
taking a
Wolf.
decent amount. It's me, man.
Feels like it ain't much, but it's an honest day's work.
It's an honest day's work. Oh my gosh. Well, so in your
I feel like my flowers started good and got progressively worse.
Yeah.
that happens. That happens. So you can always, like I said, so what happens a lot of times is what the paint starts getting what we call muddy, or it floods the brush. So either way, you need to clean off or rinse, like wipe off the excess paint. Because if the paint is flooded, it means if the brush is flooded, it means there's too much paint in the bristles.
I'm gonna go get more water. So let's get paint on my own.
She's so obsessed with the color of the water.
I'm obsessed with doing it right, Tabitha.
He is gonna get this.
I am so you know what? Waiting a year, totally worth it for this moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How are you feeling, Natalie?
Feeling confident.
I love
I don't
it.
know why, but I am.
I tell you what, it was such a blast hanging out with you in Tennessee during the convention because number one, getting to meet you
I
ladies. I've been
know.
watching you for years, so it's like, oh my gosh, I meet you in real life.
I
And
felt
yes,
the same way about you. Like, oh my
Yes.
gosh, it's her.
they are just as lovely in person, if not more
Aw.
so, than they are on stream. And
Thank you.
they're both tall. It's a little overwhelming, but but it was so much fun because you were just like so giggly and
I get the giggles a lot.
just being able to witness your different personalities in person, in public, among the people, so fun. Because you could just
Stark.
you're just like out there laughing and everything. And I don't remember. I was talking to somebody the other day about like the first time I met you, and we went out somewhere, and
Yeah.
I think it was
Right.
Oh,
Right.
in Knoxville.
I think it was
Yeah.
a pizza place.
Yeah, it's when you were working for Gina.
yeah, and it was so funny. We were hanging out, and I don't remember exactly what I said, but I was with the two ladies, and I said something about Jesus. Just, something quote unquote deep, but I was just being awkward because I wasn't quite in my element. Awkward,
love
artist
awkward.
people. And Natalie puts her arm or her hand on my shoulder and just looks at me and goes, "That's so deep." And I'm like, the way you do it, your hair just floats. Being able to witness your hair in person was truly a joy.
Aw, I love you.
But I told her, I was like, before the show, I was like, I kind of hate you a little bit. It's just, it's always so voluminous and flowy, and it's like this My Little Pony hair. It just like it's magical. And then, unfortunately for Michelle, when we went to Dollywood, I did warn her when we went on the roller coaster. I'm like, look, we're about to be really good friends. I might get a little close to you if I get scared.
It was like so. That was one of the hottest days of my life, Tabitha. Like that day, it was so hot. It was like 100 degrees at Dollywood that day.
I wasn't ready for that. I was like, oh, we're up in Tennessee. We're in the mountains. It's no problem.
Oh,
No.
it was awful.
Oh, I bet that it was humid
Oh,
too.
it was like 100 degrees and humid. Like it was
Oh my God.
brutal.
It's pretty hot in the Smokies.
It gets really in the Smokies.
And it was funny because, you know, as a hair person myself, I don't know what happened, but this was my natural assumption when just Michelle showed up and we're like, where's Natalie? And Michelle's like, oh, she had a thing. And I'm like, she probably didn't want to come out here and sweat.
Oh my gosh, it was so hot.
I was like, I don't blame her.
Well, I did want to go, but then something with my daughter wasn't feeling well. and
Yeah,
then-
Iz wasn't feeling good that day.
Okay.
but
Because
yeah,
you were gonna come, we were gonna take Natalie was gonna come. We were gonna bring my two nieces.
Oh, how fun. That would have been neat. Yeah. It was funny though, when Michelle pops up, like we all meet together and she is like, I have walked around this entire park.
Oh my gosh, I was like sweating. It was like bad. Well, I tried to do flowers, but you know, it is what it is.
No,
Well,
that's
I
okay.
But you know what? I look over and I feel good about what I did.
I think I've got fireworks here. So I
Hey,
think
it is a
over here.
space world. It doesn't actually exist. It can be whatever you want to. The Forgotten Man says, what do the Force of Light entertainment ladies do since I am late? If you were to summarize what it is that you do on YouTube.
We do movie reactions and
First time watching reactions
Yeah.
in particular.
we do movie reactions, like movies we've watched for the first time. We also do trailer reactions. We do movie and TV reviews. And then on Monday nights at 6:30, we talk kind of pop culture, kind of the latest happening in entertainment.
for our live stream and just to hang out with our subscribers.
That's really what Mondays are for.
And dance, you know, and get
And
the
dance
endorphins
a little.
going. Yeah, of course. All right, so once we're done with our firework flowers, then we're going to put our brush in our water, swizzle it about, and just leave it there to the side because we'll maybe come back to it later. And then we want our flowers. Oh, that looks so nice.
I feel like the sun's about to kill Grogu. It's so bright.
Oh, look, those are like daisies. Oh, I love how it's like a family. They progressively get bigger. Like it's cute though. I love the colors.
Cute.
So we are going to let this dry. Now we've been doing a lot of freehand. This has been a lot of nice warm up for the main event, which is our lovely little friend. Don't pay attention to the fact that his head's cut off. Grogu. So what I recommend for you ladies now is to cut out your stencils.
I'm gonna
Natalie,
be real.
you might have to guide Michelle into how this is done because apparently she didn't know.
She's a little rusty.
I'm
in the
not-
art department.
I'm gonna
She
be
didn't-
honest.
She didn't know what a stencil was.
I'm gonna be
I'm like,
honest.
come on, Michelle. I know what it is.
In
I'll be right
school,
back.
I was not a good cutter. I was not a good cutter. I was not good at staying within the lines, whether cutting, drawing, coloring.
Well,
it was just hard for me, you know.
To be fair, that is a lot has to do with the muscle and skill development. If you're not using scissors regularly, you know,
I
you'd be
would say with a
surprised. You'd be
basketball-
surprised how much right in here and in the wrist your muscles really need to develop. It doesn't look like it. I mean, I don't really look muscular necessarily in my hand. That's why I joke around with the kids when I would teach them. I'm like, when we flex as artists, we don't go like this. We go like this.
Yeah, you do.
Because all of our strength is for dexterity and it's in our hands and everything like that. So that's why we can hold paintbrushes and scissors and things like that for hours on end because we've trained our muscles to do that. People who don't do that on a regular basis, they could be really strong, but they didn't. You know, it's kind of like, you ever watch those videos too, where gymnasts, I've seen this, I forget what his name is. He's an Olympic medalist in gymnastics. And he has a YouTube channel where he challenges other athletes, very muscular individuals, to do his sport, and sometimes he will do their sports. You would think, oh, they're all muscular, they can do it. It's not true, because swimmer
Right.
muscles very different from gymnastic muscles.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see. So it's the same thing with this. I will admit, not to poke fun at Michelle, but I've never really heard of an adult having a hard time with scissors.
I mean, I thought it was decent.
Yeah. I will say maybe a little bit on his ear there. Do you see where the line is? And you've got it like really just,
Like right here.
yeah.
Oh, it's
Sharpen that a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Right here. You want to make it look more like the banana.
Oh,
A banana.
okay. Yeah, it's intense.
Now, I know that I have a full ear here, but on our painting, depending on where we put him, it's off to the side. Now, this is also, again, where some fun liberty will be, and we can relocate.
Better.
Yes. And then I assume you're not done yet. So
I was done, girl.
Michelle, what about this part?
Well,
Oh,
okay.
I gotta cut all that out.
Oh, wait a
well,
minute.
so here, let me show you his body.
Yes, no. He's got his body.
Okay, so he's got, this is his little potato sack.
Yes,
And then
his
we got to
potato sack.
cut out the little area around his hand.
Oh, shoot, man,
Yeah, you gotta cut that hand out.
girl,
Man, I'm gonna have to do this here in a second.
this is tough.
Is this like dyslexia with scissors?
I've not cut stuff since I was in high school.
How do you not use scissors? Do you not wrap your presents at Christmas time?
Girl, no, that's what mothers are for.
What? I
You
wrap
go
my
on
mom's
Christmas Eve,
present.
you're like, lady, I need you to wrap my present. Get around, woman.
What? What? Okay, chat, I need to know.
that
Maybe it's
better?
just yeah.
She's like, maybe.
So
She's
let me
like,
make
"It's
this a little
pretty
larger. So the only reason that I'm suggesting that you be as detailed as possible is only because it will make it easier for you. If you don't get some of these details, like the ripples in the clothing, I mean, you could cut it straight across and that's fine. But if you leave it with a chunk like this, it will be harder for you as an unseasoned artist to
Yeah,
compensate for
unseasoned.
where the body and everything is. That's the only issue that it will make it harder for you. I know cutting with scissors is very hard and tedious work.
It's
But-
very hard.
It's an arduous journey to be sure. But
I mean, I'm like going to Mulder over here, wherever they go in Lord of the Rings. I mean, that's
did you say Molder?
I don't know where it's called. I've
You're
only
not a
watched
Lord of the Rings
twice.
person. Mordor.
There we go.
Mordor. I will take
that
the
better?
rings. Yes.
Do I need to cut
Excellent.
his head off?
Not yet. Not yet. I hope these aren't haters of yours. This is from Pucarella and
that's
Nappy.
That
Natalie.
Pucarella, I got the stomach virus, a 24-hour stomach virus about a month ago, and it confessed to being Pucarella, and now DL, sometimes is Pucarella and Nappy Nab.
Oh, okay. I wanted to be like, all right, ladies, are we okay with the super chat? Thank you for the one.
It's DL. It's DL.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because I mean, we've been on the internet. We see how some people will, make hate channels and stuff like that. So
I actually originally got that from Valiant Renegade because Natalie, when you had like the stomach virus like a while ago, and he was like, "Oh, Pucarella," and then I just confessed after I had the stomach virus, was like, I was Pucarella.
I think I ended up having bronchitis, but I just like
Okay.
puked randomly. And yeah, and then he called me Pucarella on a live stream on his channel.
the Forgotten Man asks a really interesting question. Since we're talking about, what's inside comes out. Why was Michelle smiling when she asked to cut off Grogu's head?
I love Grogu.
Oh, and to answer
Yeah.
that question, I think how tall are we? I am 5'8", but I think that people think because I wear heels sometimes, I think in people's mind I'm like 5'11", but I'm really just 5'8".
Yes.
But then Michelle really is 5'11". So.
Yeah.
No, I'm like 5'11", 3/4.
Oh, excuse us.
Well, I'm like almost 5'9".
Okay, I think I've only ever heard of short people pulling out the fractions when it comes to their height. So what is that,
Hey,
Michelle?
Show us tall and proud.
Do you want me to round up to 6 feet tall? I like to be specific. I'm 5'11" and 3/4. I'm not quite 6 feet tall, but I'm closer to 6 feet tall than I am 5'11".
I mean, I get it. I mean, when I talk about stories in my life, I will say details matter.
They do.
My mom tells me that I blame my father, but my mom tells me that I have a habit of talking in circles, meaning that the point of the story is here. I start here and I have to work my way into the circle, whereas most people just it's a straight line. So I was at Walmart, dude kicked me in the face. I'm more of like, I was at Walmart getting bread because I was going to be making garlic bread for lasagna tonight when this guy who happened to be smiling at me and wearing a AC/DC sweatshirt, I feel like that's why I tell you, I like a good story. So I always tell my mom, I'm like, and my dad understands. He's like, how can you understand the context or the story if you have no context?
Well, I think that's what it is. I think you're trying people when your brain works that way, you're trying to like set the scene, like paint a picture for somebody, no pun intended. So for you, you're helping them get the full experience to really convey what you're trying to say.
That's like Real Steven TV. I appreciate him and all of the people in the chat. But like I tell people, when I ask you, how was your day? Did you sleep well last night? I actually want to know.
Yeah.
That's it's just I like a good conversation as well. I know I watched what is his name? Something McIntyre. He's a British comedian, and I laughed because it's relatable. He's like, why do we ask people how they slept and then expect a full narration? Like a documentary of a story. He's like, how are you supposed to tell people how you slept? You either when you wake up it was good or it was bad. You did or not at all. He's like, but there are some people who are like, oh my gosh, let me tell you. At first I had to get a drink of water. And then when I woke up, I had to get a drink of water. And then I saw myself in the mirror and I thought, dear God, I need more sleep. And he just goes through this whole thing. And then by the end of it, he was like, so I mean, I guess I slept okay. And it's like, yes, this is how I tell people.
It totally, I do it sometimes.
All right, Team Circle Club.
I'll give extra details, extra stuff on that thing.
Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. I have my limit too, where it's like somebody's just droning on. I will say that when I got to the South, this is a kind of a different form of communication. I don't know about you ladies, but have you met people that from the South that when they converse with you, they somehow automatically assume you know the members of their family?
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yes. I went to church with this wonderful lady, Jeanette. Wasn't Jeanette, it was Jeanette. And she was telling me all about Jonathan. And she's just going on about Jonathan. And she's like, and and I'm like,
you're like, I don't know, but okay.
I don't know who. And then when I tell her, like, I don't know who Jonathan is, they'll be like, well, that's Paul's son.
And you're like, but I don't know.
Who is Paul?
More context is necessary.
I just don't understand how she got rid of the red. That's what I don't understand. How did she get rid of the red in the sun?
I probably didn't use as much. And then, like I said, I blended. You don't look like yours blended quite as much with the white. This is not me finger pointing at you. It's just a factoid. All right, ladies. So I see that some of my paint is still a little wet here. So
yeah, some of my flowers are a little wet, but I think the flowers about it.
So probably. I would hope that our background would be dry by now because acrylic's supposed to dry quickly. So while we're doing and thinking and contemplating and waiting for our paint to dry, this is the time, like I was saying earlier, where we now have more creative liberty in figuring out where's the best place to put Grogu, because if we don't like certain things about our painting, we can use him to cover up. Now, composition is really important, and this is just a fancy term for the placement of our items, where everything goes. There is a reason that our son is over to the corner, because we didn't want to make him Saint Grogu We were gonna make it.
No, he is Saint Grogu.
It's more about like it's he's reaching for it, and then in our original picture, let me bring that back up. I did include like a cute little whimsical butterfly, so it just kind of
Aw.
you don't have to put that out there, but I mean maybe
Oh, I
he's
love
just
that.
reaching up towards the forest. We don't know, but that way the eye gets drawn here, and then it will go into his eyes. Like that's how it works in art. Once you get more developed in your skills, you learn where things go. So it's complementary. So this naturally makes your face go like this. I say your face, your eyes.
I think I'm gonna let Grogu be Saint Grogu and get like all up in the sun a little.
That is up to you. So yeah, I probably put it over
It's
here.
it's gonna be like in the medieval times. My painting's about to look like medieval Grogu.
A Renaissance painting. I love it. All right, what I'm gonna do, Michelle probably will get really mad at me, but the areas where the paint is thickest.
Yes. Okay. What do I do with that?
Here, so for me, it's over here where I know I'm gonna place Grogu. I'm not worried about the flowers here. I know Grogu ain't going over there. So what I'm gonna do, this is where the fun part. Remember we talked about that.
Where the fun begins. Okay.
Is that I'm just gonna take my finger and just wipe off some of the flower, some of the paint. Just gonna be careful. And then wipe it off on my towel. I'm basically just thinning out the paint.
Gotcha.
And again, this is primarily where Grogu's gonna get covered up. If it quote unquote ruins your flower, again, once Grogu's on there and we finish him up, we can paint more flowers over it. That's the wonderful thing about foliage. It can grow everywhere.
Yeah.
Looks like I've been deep in the Cheeto puffs.
Where did you get orange?
Where did you get orange? Because so much
She's
yellow
like,
and red.
all right, Michelle, what's under the desk? Is there a secret bag of Cheetos under that?
No, don't do this
Natalie's
on her own.
recording.
I do have some strawberry Mentos. They're
Still not
crack
orange.
to me. I love these things.
I've never had strawberry. That minty strawberries. That sounds.
But they're not minty. It's like
Oh,
it's
okay.
really just like strawberry candy. But
Yeah.
so I don't know why. Yeah, there's really no mint in it.
Because I've had Sour Patch mint gum.
Yeah,
It's like a love-hate relationship because it's kind of cool until it's not. It's almost like all of a
Oh,
sudden
yeah.
it's like brushing your teeth or eating an orange after you've brushed your teeth.
yeah, very acidic.
Apparently there's a story where Brett says that Natalie slapped Trump in the face
Oh my goodness, is this real?
because your fingers are orange.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Good idea.
So it's pretty much it's okay if your paper sticks a little bit to your flowers.
But
I'm
do I
gonna
need to
figure
cut his head off?
not yet. Not
Okay.
yet. So I'm gonna figure out where my little Grogu's gonna
Oh, I
go.
know where Grogu's going. He's going to take up like the whole painting. Like he's going to be
Good.
on the whole thing.
Well, see, this is what I'm
He's
saying
going to be
to
reaching for the sun because he's Saint Grogu.
Saint Grogu. Let me get mine placed. So when you figure out where you would like him, this is where we bring in our pencil, the other art supply that somehow Michelle doesn't have. The one supply that every house has.
I just feel like
one.
what adult has a pencil because when I went to high school and we no longer had to have pencils, I was like, forget pencils. Pens are awesome. And I didn't have a pencil.
She
Is
never
this
looked back.
I never
Right.
looked back.
Chat, I
Well,
need
well,
to
you
know,
haven't-
is
you
this
never bought another
normal?
one.
I literally never bought another one.
My mom is artistic and my dad sometimes does woodworking, as does my brother. So we always have pencils. So
Yeah.
of course I just assumed that was normal.
No.
Chat, please let me know how many of you as adults who are not artistic necessarily still have pencils in your house. How do you not have a pencil?
I mean, why would you have a pencil though? Pens are cooler.
I mean, I don't necessarily disagree. I do love me a good. I'm very particular about my pencils. Pens are so in right now. It's not normal, says the real Steven TV. I have lots of pencils.
I do too, actually, to be fair.
All right, so Michelle, do you know how to? I want to be a little facetious, but I'm asking also very genuinely. Do you know how to trace?
I know how to trace, but
Okay.
I still feel like, do you need me to cut his head off?
Not yet.
The problem here is Tabitha, how do I make him not take up the whole picture?
He take up the whole
Sure.
picture.
No,
it's
that's
good.
a great question. So All you have
I'm
to do
glad
is
for him to take it up.
just
Cover up my ugliness.
just slide him down a little bit.
Oh, just slide him down.
Yeah, you can slide him down. You can move him over. Like I said, you'll notice that I have a
You
full
can let his
Grogu
ear
ear,
go off a little.
but you can let his ear go off
I
a
mean, don't
little
let
bit.
it go off all the way.
So,
Maybe
in
that's
fact,
what
I'll do that too. So I'm just
Here.
like you ladies.
Right there. Or like this, Natalie.
But then my pretty flowers are
Look,
covered
boom.
up. That's the only part that's like decent.
But you can always add more flowers
You can add
because.
more flowers.
Ah,
So what we do as a final touch is that we make larger flowers kind of
Yeah,
in
see?
front of Grogu to make it look like there's what's called depth perception, to make it look
Yeah,
like there's flowers further away and flowers close up.
I started with the big flowers.
I got Grogu the exact way I want it.
That's okay, because that was pretty much like a practice thing, so that when we do it the next time, the pen is mightier than the pencil. You can't erase a pen.
It's true.
All
I
right,
have to
so
be
I'm going
perfect.
around. Here we go.
Be real light, Natalie.
Okay.
Oh, like Michelle knows what she's doing.
I
Look at her!
know.
Look at her giving advice, Miss. I don't own in pencil. That's it for Christmas.
I'm
Just
gonna
like
get her a
boxes.
whole thing of pencils.
You guys have a PO box, right? Chat, get on it.
Yes. Give me some pencils, guys.
You need some number 2 pencils out there.
I
Every
almost got
household
some
needs
colored
one.
pencils, but I did not.
You can't really erase those though.
No, you can't.
No. They tried. They tried to make some that you could. It didn't work out very well. All right. This is great because now that I kind of have an assessment of your skill level, we can tackle the clothing a little easier than what I have. No, it's good. It's good.
Don't lie to us, Tabitha.
I never
You don't
lie.
have to lie to kick it.
I never lie. Jesus beat that out of me years ago. Actually, maybe I'll have your ladies' opinions on this as you're concentrating so hard, I know, on your stencils there. But I don't know if you're familiar with Priscilla Shire,
Yes.
but I really enjoy her teachings. And one time, makes total sense to me. One time, Priscilla Shire was saying that pretty much when you're younger, you have certain things about you, certain attributes that get you in trouble for the most part. There's usually one particular thing that tends to be something of a thorn in your parents' side regarding
Mine's
you.
my impatience.
Okay. Well, she was saying that for her, it was talking. She was always talking in school. She would get called into the principal's office. She would get spankings, all the stuff her parents had to deal with. And that as she got older, God kind of, and then she had more, or she herself had children. God kind of showed her that basically the thorns in her side, or in the side, basically the attributes that are not so wonderful, pretty much are just gifts that are unrefined.
Yeah, no, I think
Yeah, I
that's
would
true.
agree with that totally.
Yeah, because like my strong will, like I think it's a gift,
Yeah.
yeah,
but it also could be annoying when I was a kid.
Of course, and so she's a phenomenal speaker. And so she looks back at that now where it was like, as a child, she just didn't realize that it was an unrefined gift. And I told that to my mom one time, and I said, honestly, that makes a lot of sense because I'm not proud of this, but I was a really good liar and a habitual liar.
I was an excellent liar.
I was a chronic liar as a child, but now I've been told I have a gift for storytelling.
yeah.
So it's like my lying, I was very convincing. Let me put it this way. I was very convincing as a liar. I could just quickly come up with a story that sounded believable. And so I was talking to my mom about that. Of course, my mom at first, she was like, whatever you need to help you sleep at night. But now she's like, no, that makes sense. I just threw that out there, all of a sudden Michelle's like, I'm very impatient. And I'm just trying to think, all right, what kind of gift could that
What kind of gift? Actually, let's think of that. What kind of gift comes from my impatience?
Well, judging just from this entire stream, you're a person You're a person who enjoys when things get done and get done
Yeah.
efficiently.
Yes, I do.
So you get
Yes.
impatient when people are frivolous.
Yes. I don't
I
like
would
them to
s-
waste my time and fool around.
That's why she gets frustrated with me a lot.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. See, I can that was a complete and total lie, but you believed it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Oh my goodness, Staccato DDS has gifted 20.
Woo!
20.
Staccato.
He just loves seeing the dinosaurs. Yeah, because we don't have a 20 and everybody loves and we play a 20. Thank you so much, Staccato. Now, when we get this body, I don't want to rush through that. Staccato, I really sincerely appreciate. I feel like you when you're talking and trying to get through something, it's like, oh, thanks for your gifted. Now, whatever. But that's not what I'm trying to do. He is now part. Thank you, Jonathan. Part of the top 20 people in the chat. I appreciate that. All right, so now we will remove the
Cut his
head.
head. Okay.
Off with his head. And the
head.
reason that we do that is now we will have this line here to differentiate between the clothing and his head. It'll make it easier for knowing where to start and stop the green and the brown paint. It'll also, help us to know where the hand goes. Here we go. Now, some people might say to themselves, Tabitha, why in the world did you spend all that time painting the background only for it to be covered up? Ha! Glad you asked that question. Because you never know where exactly the plan will change in the future. So you kind of have to be a little flexible, and it's really embarrassing to have an unfinished background. Now, with oil painting, it's a little different. You don't paint, I mean, you could. A lot of times you don't paint the background. I wouldn't say, you don't really paint the background first. You usually paint the subject first and then paint the background around it because oil takes so long to dry. And because oil paint is much thicker consistency, if you paint the background first, it will put all these kinds of bumps and stuff like that onto your main subject. So that's the difference also between using oil paint versus acrylic. But because, I mean, my grow group was supposed to go somewhere else, as was the ladies. But because of their backgrounds and how it turned out and the things they wanted to emphasize and or cover up, we moved them around. So that's one reason why we paint the background. It's also, again, really good exercise for you.
I feel like I need to
Nice,
start with the
yeah.
head first, if we can do that.
Yes. Yeah. The head will be a little easier than the body.
I gotta start with that head, girl.
Okay, now I do recommend keeping your stencil nearby, like maybe right
Okay.
next to your canvas, because it does have those lines. It should have like his facial features and stuff on there.
Yes.
Right, that's great. So I'm just going to use our pencil. Now, here's the thing. We're going to cover up the inside, okay? But we're going to use our pencil to just give us a general idea of where things will go. We'll just start with his little nose, right? So we know that this section, let me make this a little bigger here. We know you can see his ears correctly. We've got the ear by the hand over here. And then we've got the other ear. I'm just going to mark them off. Don't do this. I'm doing this for you. Okay. So we got our ears. So we know that his nose is kind of in this general area. Now, if you don't put it in the right spot, it's okay. That's good per se, because when we do paint, it'll let you know where to move. Okay. So we know that his nose is kind of this little area. I just start off with a little frowny face right there. A little bit off to the side because he is looking up. Little frowny face.
Okay. Oh, you got your own pen.
Oh, where is it?
I don't know what you do with your pen.
Oh, here it is.
I like how Natalie's just watching and not doing, and she's like, yeah, it'll just magically pop. So yeah, just a little frowny face. Again, if it looks a little off when we're finished, that's okay, because when we paint, we'll know where to shift things. All right. I understand that eyes can be tricky. So what we're going to do is over here in this little corner where the ear meets the head, right?
Wait a
We're gonna
minute.
do-
What was the first thing?
The
you
nose.
drew?
Go
The
in
nose.
middle.
Go in the middle and a little up.
Okay.
Okay.
If it's not perfect, she said it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So right here, this little gap that's in between the ear and the head, right? We're just going to do a little froggy upside down little thing right here that kind of comes towards the center of the nose as far as it lines up with the center of the nose. This will help us know where to put our eyes. T-Rex 007, as a beginner painter, medium should you start with? I highly recommend acrylic paint. Start with acrylic. It's cheaper, easier to clean up, and it just it'll give you a good foundation for how to move paints around. Oil can be expensive. It's more difficult to clean, and it's a lot of fun, but I would definitely start with acrylic. So, all right, we got our little froggy eye. So that we go over a little bit to the side here. So we can find that corner where the head meets the ear over on this side, right?
Yes.
But we're not, we need to move in a little bit because his head has tilted a little bit, right? So come in a little bit and do an arch like that. That kind of meets the end of the nose over here. Okay, so just 3 little frowny faces.
I got it. I got it.
There you go. By the way, Yoda be pimpin' for $199.
That's deal.
Have you bitten your brother lately? No, because we're adults. Real Steve TV says, Michelle, I sent you some pencils. Yes. Wonderful of pencils. Okay, so good.
Can I just say real quick? I meant to tell you, I haven't been on Twitter today. I meant to get back to your message. And I'll thank you on the live stream Monday too, but I got the mug, the kitty cat mug.
Oh, I think you mentioned that.
The one that you assumed was yours because it had a cat on it?
It's definitely
wait a
hers.
minute. That was another one. But no, wait a minute. Stephen, what I wanted to thank you for was the adorable kitty cat that has a light. I think it's actually an outside thing, but it's so cute. My coworker was a little jelly. But it looks like my cat Simon, and it has a butterfly on its nose. So it's just adorable and precious. And I just wanted to thank you for that real quick.
I like it.
She's like, I'll allow it.
And then you've got a couple.
I will allow it.
Yeah, I've got to get to you.
All right, so then we're gonna make the eyes. They're kind of like these almond shapes. Now, this is a little bit advanced, but don't be scared. Okay, I'm gonna take my face as a reference. So typically, our eyes are quote unquote the same shape and size, right? So if I turn my face just a little bit, this eye will now be smaller.
Yeah.
As viewed by you. Okay. So, and it kind of like squeezed a little bit together. So keep that in mind. So here, actually, excuse me, we're going to start with this eye. And you know, Grogu has those nice big eyes, and they're kind of like I'm not really sure what the shape would be. It's almost like a really squished together almond kind of shape. But again, we can always change this shape, but I like to start here, right about here. And we go up and come down and do the same. So you'll see he's got these little water lines right here.
I'm like, dang.
Yeah, it's really difficult. I don't know how to describe this shape. It's kind of like a circle with corners.
It's like a tear duct.
Yeah, it's got the tear ducts in there. Hey, it's Horror with Nods. Wait, that's not Bob Ross. No, if you want to see Bob Ross and watch digital artists tackle that, watch my latest video. Hoot and a half. If you want to watch artists panic. Michelle, you'd love it.
I would definitely panic.
You would love it. All right. So that being said, we're going to do the same shape on the other side, but it's a little bit more squished. Okay. So I start where the nose is over here. And it's a little bit rounded. Come down. We want to have the little corner, and then we have it meet. See, so it's kind of the same size, just a little squished together, slightly smaller.
I think I did good.
Oh, that's what we want to hear.
Mine's kind of looking like a little monster.
It's gonna be fine.
Well, exactly. So, but you know, looking at this, if anybody were to look at your picture right now, they would say that's Grogu. It's just an unfinished Grogu.
Yeah.
If you have the silhouette and some of the structure of the features correct, you've already achieved half the job, because Star Wars is very much about silhouettes. So if you can if you can tell that this is Grogu unfinished, just wait till it's done. So
I
that's
don't really have his hands good.
Okay. Well, I only am having the one hand because I've pushed him down. But again, you have it. So if we want to, we'll go into our hand just to make it easier for ourselves. I'm going to curl his finger with a little parentheses over right here. And then I'm just going to go ahead and draw this down so you can see what this is going to look like. So we have an idea just so we can move along. Brett says, I sent Michelle movies as an early birthday present because I'm going to Alaska for vacation.
Awesome.
I actually have them in my car. I'll give them to her tonight.
I'm noticing a trend of Natalie keeping things in her car.
She does keep things in the
They
car.
get dropped off at the office where I work, so I'm like the mailman for it.
And then over here on the sleeve, just to again make it a little easy for us, I'm gonna just make this little donut here so it kind of looks like it's falling.
Okay, hold on. I need you to repeat that motion, even though you've already done it.
Right here, you just see it's basically we connect this line over here all the way down here as a curve. Another parentheses.
Okay.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I wonder.
You made
I'm messing up.
You made a new line though, right?
This one. So here I did these two things here. I'm going to do this in marker so you can see them.
Okay.
Okay. Over here, I'm going to come over here and we outline this better so you can see.
Oh.
I don't encourage people to do this with marker. I'm only doing this for our guests so it's easier for them to see because I know a lot of this information gets lost in the camera. So
Lost in the sauce.
And I'm going to go ahead and just do a nice little unrefined wavy line across here just to make it look like the folds of clothing. And there we have. This is all that we need.
Did you make? Yeah, you made that bottom line, I think.
This one here?
Yeah.
Yeah, wherever it's thick is where I've just drawn.
Boom.
Okay. Oh, and one last one right here. Oh, excuse me. One last, two penultimate ones. Little face like that, and then up this way. Okay. And then we're going to be switching over to a different brush. Huzzah, good people. We're going to be doing a little bit back and forth. I want to say we are almost done because we really are. We're splashing on some green, splashing on some brown. And then if we so choose and feel that our painting needs it, we'll add some more flowers. Caveat time is hello, alls. Hello. All right, I'm switching over to my detail brush.
Okay,
I don't want it to be too big. Hey, old poet Jerry, I see you. All right. Jerry, would you do us a solid? Could you write us a quick poem about how Michelle just needs to embrace her inner chaos and just let go of the control around her and be free-spirited like Natalie? Or at least give it a try.
She's like, I don't want to be like Natalie.
It's just a poem. Michelle, calm down. All right, so I would highly suggest that if you still have your box of paints, just to make this process easier for you, if you have green, just to go ahead and grab it. I make my own, and usually I ask or I'll tell my guests to make their own green and stuff because I want them to have the full experience.
Oh, I got green.
Oh, it's
You have okay, because green is just blue and yellow. It just, so I'm going to go ahead and just mix mine. I'm using my bigger brush to do this.
Yellow right here.
Why do I need yellow? We got
Because you
green.
mix them together.
No, but that's because she didn't have green. We got green.
Yeah, if you have green, it'll just be easier for you.
We might want to lighten it a little bit, though.
I don't know that we do.
So, well, you were going to be lightening some areas. We are. You're so sisters. All right, so what we're gonna do? Take this brush. We've got our green.
I don't feel like I have a line in Grogu's ear. Hold on. I feel I need to make a line.
This one here?
Yeah.
Somebody wasn't paying attention in class.
I'm ADD, man.
For someone who likes efficiency.
But I'm also ADHD. So you gotta give me my moment. There's a lot of layers to this onion.
A lot of layers. Hey, Jerry said he's going to make that poem. Excellent. I can't wait. He's awesome. All right. So try to keep up, Michelle. Crying out loud.
Right,
All right.
okay,
So
not my green.
we're going to go over some of these areas just to help us have a little guideline again. So I'm going to go paint over the outline of our character here. This is going to also give us another practice run of how to control our paintbrush. So for the paintbrushes, if you want better control, holding it close to the metal like so gives you better control. Just to let you know. If you hold it back further,
eyeliner.
yeah, exactly. If you hold it, a lot of people, they'll make fun of artists because, they hold their paintbrushes way out here and they're like, they look like this. It's weird looking. There's a reason for that. I won't go into it, but if you want better control, do it like this. So we're just going to outline everything that needs to be green, and I'll show you what those things are.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It won't it be where the pen is?
Yes, except for obviously the clothing, and then we also wanted to go ahead and just do his nose and everything. Now, the reason that we're outlining all of this is because when we start painting all the inside of his face and everything is going to be green, with acrylic paint, because of how it layers, it will automatically look a little darker wherever we paint over the already painted green. So this way, we won't get lost in the chaos, if that makes sense.
Yes.
You'll see it come to pass here in a little bit. Now, here's the thing. Is Grogu actually green or is he mint?
Is he kind of like a deep sage?
He's a bit mint.
A deep sage. Interesting. Yeah, I would say that most, honestly, Cara Dune and Grogu, their colors really never get proper depictions because, Grogu, he's not really as vibrant green or teal or whatever the color is that people make him online. And then Cara Dune, a lot of times they'll really accentuate the color palette that she has that I'm not even sure. What is that? Like a turquoise or whatever it is that she has in her uniform there. And when you compare it to the show, I know when I've made several of my chibis, I'm like, it's not quite as vibrant as it's being, as it actually is. It's just a fun little thing. I don't know if it's just because we all have our own version of color blindness or
Probably do.
yeah. Now I'm even going to do his eyes. That way we don't get lost. Now feel free to shift these around. If they look kind of weird to you, if you think they need to be bigger, go ahead and just figure that out there. Use the same shape, but you can just kind of move them. I'm pretty happy with where these eyes are. There we go. It always gets quiet when everybody's concentrating.
It's serious.
It's serious now. It's serious. Oh, I'm sorry. You were looking at that.
Did you outline his face? The bottom part?
No, because I'm going to save that for the brown. I can clearly see where that's going to end. Jerry hits us back with, to reach within your heart, you must tear doubt and defeat apart. Be wise, strong, and bold. Hit hard and fast. Reach for the gold. Only then will you see the sweet taste of victory. It's for you, Michelle.
That's beautiful.
Are you a big fan of Big Bang Theory, or have you seen it?
No, I haven't watched it.
I love that show. I know as many of the nerd community gave it a lot of hate last year. I don't know why. I love it. There's this one episode. When I used to teach at my old church, the ladies group, I actually used one of these episodes in a lesson. And it's a biblical principle. I think we all know.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I think we all know that everything kind of stems back to God anyway. All the principles, moral principles, all stem back to God anyway. And there's this one episode about letting go. And there's a therapy technique where imagine you're holding a pen and just put all your thoughts or whatever, make the pen whatever color you want it to be. Now, let it go. And the whole point is that you just basically tie whatever stress you're having to that pen, metaphorically, and you let it go. And I actually took that to the ladies, and I was like, this is kind of a biblical principle of leaving our burdens at the cross and letting Jesus bear it. And so I actually brought pens to the class, and it was so funny because a lot of my ladies were middle-aged and older, and they're all looking at me like I'm weird. I am pretty quirky teacher, and they're like, why do I have all they probably assumed we were going to have prayer request hour or something like that. And I'm like, all right, ladies, now let it go. And we have an obsessive compulsive person in our class. And I told him, I said, don't pick him up. Don't you dare pick him up, because class was over. I was like, you leave them there. You leave your burdens on the floor. I said, somebody else will be here to clean up these pens. You don't need to worry about it. She's like, but I can't just leave it on the floor. I'm like, you absolutely can leave that pen on the floor, because I will take care of it. And she's like, it just doesn't feel right. And I'm like, and that's the problem. So it was a really great lesson that even spoke to me. I'm like, wow, that was good.
I feel that. Yeah, absolutely.
I learn best with illustrations. All right, so
it's like we can only control so much, and the rest we really have to leave in God's hands,
and faith to believe that somebody's actually going to come in and pick up those pens. It's like, okay, absolutely. Yeah. What if I promise you that I'm actually going to pick up the pens and not leave them there?
Yeah.
So, which is funny because I believe that lady told me that after church was over, she went back to check and see if they were clean.
She's got trust issues.
Something to work on. So I'm going to be switching over. We're going to get a little more intense now just because of time's sake. I hope you ladies are okay. Hope you're okay.
Yes.
All right. So we're going to switch over to our slightly bigger or smaller flat brush that I clearly use a lot. Well, Jerry, I hope you have a better day, man. Thank you, Tabitha and Force of Light. I needed some cheering up. Well, you've come to the right place. Thanks Force
for being
of
here,
Light.
Jerry.
Okay, so we're gonna brown it up.
Brown it up.
Well, we're gonna do the face with green.
Oh well, shoot, man! I put brown on.
Somebody wasn't listening.
Okay, so we go back to the green.
Yes, so we're letting kind of this dry while I was talking about pens and whatnot. So now what we're going to do is, get a little bit of the green.
I guess now I better put a little bit of brown in there.
You can actually use your brown if you would like to darken it up. I'm going to use just a whisper of blue to darken my green, but brown will work fine because brown is a compilation of yellow, blue, and red anyway.
Okay.
So you see here that my green is just a little darker than our regular green. Totally fine. And so over here, this is where the fun begins. We're going to start filling in the face, right? So I'm going to start over here at the ear. Remember, when we start something new we're not familiar with, we start over on the side and just follow that path. There we go. We fill this in. Now my paint is a little thinner, so I might have to thicken it somehow, but essentially, because I can still
the whole ear.
Yes. Wow. Sounds
well,
so
but he's
excited.
got pink in his ear.
Is it wet?
Doesn't he have some pink in his ear?
Yes. It's all about the layers. Somebody just wants to jump ahead and do everything.
That's how I am, Tabitha.
I notice.
I like to see the end from the beginning.
That's how I am in math. So the reason that we're starting with some dark green over here is because the sun, of course, is on the other side. And whatever's closest to the sun will be brighter. So we're starting off with some shadows. And then we're going to be introducing some white here in a little bit. We're going to fill to the middle of the face. I'm even using my brush to go into his little eyebrow there. Or whatever that's called.
Like in between the eyebrow?
Yeah.
His eyeshadow?
Exactly.
Precisely.
I am working with a little bit of a froggy green here. So, it's just open to interpretation as we were talking about it. I've seen froggy green Grogu's. I'm not exactly going for color accuracy. Sorry, Michelle. But, you know,
Okay.
to each their own. I apologize. But it's going to be okay.
It
He's
is.
all right.
I feel like he's just gonna be a little green man though.
Yeah, well, we're also going to be adding some highlights to him, so we can change it up if you want to. So if we want him to be more of a teal kind of whatever color, mint color, add a little bit of white, just a little, not a lot, because we will be adding some more to that later. Here we go. Let me get some more. I'm going to make a whole bunch here. And that's again, we've just started on that side, so we can change it up as needed. There we go. And my original one, he is quite green. So, but you can change the colors. Hey, you can make little red Yodas if you want
But
to.
if I paint him in green, then how are we gonna see the nose? You know
You
what I'm
should be
saying?
able to see through slightly.
Okay. I'll trust you.
Or you can paint around it. She says she trusts me, but I know she's going to go back to the room and look for a pen.
I trust you.
I feel like-
you, Tabitha. I choose to trust you tonight. She's already on her way.
I choose trust. She's already on her way. Now, even if you cover up some of the facial features, it's kind of like a muscle memory. Like it's just to help us, you know, remember where they were. Now, depending on where your brush stroke pattern is, that will also help. What this is, it's just basically the trails that are left behind in the paint. So you'll notice how in our background, we went in a circular motion. You can obviously tell that because of the brush stroke pattern left behind. Same thing with our flowers. Clearly, we dipped them rather than, you know, stroking back and forth. So you can do that in his little forehead where you just follow the curvature of his face, like just bring it down like we did with the parentheses and bring another one down. As it dries, it kind of creates that illusion of wrinkles.
Okay.
Now, as I'm getting closer to this side of the face, I will incorporate a little bit more white. And that's again with that blend. If we want it to merge nicely with the green that we just made, it's kind of like what we did with our sun. Hopefully we've learned since then.
I don't know. It's a process.
It is. I am teaching you some highfalutin techniques here. So
You sure are.
look, what I like to do when I have people on my channel is I want to give, I mean, not everybody cares about artwork. I understand that. But sometimes people just don't know that they could do something. I've had several people on here who have never painted before. And then after they were done, they were like, I really would like to try this again.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, great. So what I like to do is start you off with a lot of basic stuff. And then slowly I'll integrate some more detailed things like with the brush stroke pattern, creating the lines, the wrinkles and things like that, with even the blending. That can be a little bit more of a advanced technique depending on who you talk to, especially even like our flowers. But all of this is meant to build up your confidence, warm up the muscles in your hands so that you can see how far you've come and what more you can accomplish.
Ooh.
And then you can also see, and this is not a this is not a point and laugh at you. It's more of like seeing where your struggles are and what
Yeah.
you want to work on.
Girl, my Grogu's starting to look beautiful.
You love to hear it.
Michelle's I wish, I have to say for years, I wish I had some of Michelle's confidence.
She does seem like a very confident individual. I need that to rub off on me as well.
Me too. I'm still waiting. I've gotten a lot better.
I think we all do. I mean, spoiler, after 20s, you kind of sort of come into yourself. I was always told.
Yeah, I think it helps. Yeah, like I'm learning things finally, that I feel like I've never really gotten before, or just new things. So yeah, it's definitely a journey.
My mom always told me, because I always had a fear of getting older, and God kind of slapped that out of me in 2020. But that's a whole other story. But I always asked my mom, like, if you could go back to a younger age, what would it be? And she would take time to pause. Of course, she's allowed to take time to pause. When I do it, I need to go faster, but I am quite a long pauser. Deep thinker. But
Okay.
oh yeah, it's just so I put in there, I interject and I say 20s, because at that time I was like 18 or 21 and living life and everything's the best. And she's like, oh no, 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 no. I'm
Yeah.
like, why not? She's like, no, no, no. She's like, you don't know nothing when you're 20.
You really don't.
She's like, 30s. Take me back to the 30s. She's like, you're still young, but you're old enough to know better.
Yeah. It's
I
true.
think 30s are great, honestly.
I do too. I find them to be really, really great. I never thought it would be the case, but I'm like, 30s are pretty great. Oh, by the way, I've lightened my green a little bit here. I think it's difficult to tell with my camera light. There's a glare because it's wet paint. Let's see. But I've lightened it just a little bit more, and then I went back over that one eyebrow there in the front. Because anything that's, it's just like our nose and our forehead. Those are the things that get sunburnt the first things to get sunburnt, because they're closer to the sun.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of science in art.
Totally.
There is. Yeah, they don't think you don't think that you need it. That's why I laugh at myself when I was like younger and I hated math and I thought, oh, I'll just become an artist. I don't need math. Lies. Science and math are a big part of art, just not in the way that you think.
Yes.
And then I'm going to move over to the hand.
Yeah, I think my hand's a little jacked, but
Of course.
we're gonna do our best.
He's been in a battle. He's,
He might have lost a finger.
it happens. We don't know what's going to happen in the movie.
We don't.
What are your predictions for the film? What do you think?
Well, they're gonna end up happily ever after.
Who is?
Grogu and Mando.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you watch season 3?
Yeah, it wasn't too good.
I didn't watch it, and not just because of the stuff that happened with Gina, but that was a big part of it, but also just because everything else that was tumbling out of the woodworks of Disney, it was like, I don't want to. I just didn't have any interest anymore, sadly.
Yeah, I understand.
Which really sucks. I love Star Wars.
Yeah.
Love me my Princess Leia and all that, but Jar Jar Binks. I know. Everybody will
Jar
come.
Jar fan.
The heart. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, Phantom Menace was my Star Wars. I mean, I grew up with Return of the Jedi and all of that. I remember watching that when I was younger and just like falling in love and fangirling over Carrie Fisher because she had brown eyes and brown hair like me.
Yeah.
But like my era of Star Wars was Phantom Menace. And, I was a little kid and I went to the theater and I saw it and I tell you what, it is amazing what music will do for a film because
Oh yeah.
I say that, Lord of the Rings and the Phantom Menace were pretty close together. And that's when, it all happened.
Yes.
Duel of the Fates is probably, for me, one of the most amazing scores
It's
ever
good.
made
Yeah.
changed that just changed it. I remember sitting in the theater and being overwhelmed by that musical piece like I'd never been with any other piece of music ever before.
It's really good.
And then after that comes Lord of the Rings with Howard Shore's stuff, and the whole movie on top of the music just changed my life as far as my appreciation for cinema, my appreciation for music, opening up my mind to things that could be, opening up my creativity and my imagination and my storytelling and all that stuff. It was just amazing.
It's
Loved
good.
it. Loved it. Old poet Jerry says poets are artists with a different pen. Messages of inspirational words on paper are canvas we send, trying to bring out the heart, mind, and soul. Wonderment, a poet's endless goal. Wait till you reach my age. I hope to reach. I don't know. Do you follow J.K. Rowling on Twitter?
I do.
She has some of the most boss babe tweets ever. And I don't know if you saw her one about her birthday where
Yeah, I did.
yeah, like basically, please try and hurt my feelings by telling me I'm old because I know so many people that never got the opportunity.
Yes.
Like
Yeah, it's a privilege.
it's a privilege. And that's what changed my mind in 2020 is I don't, controversy aside, but there was Ahmaud Arbery when he was shot and killed. And he was just in his 20s, and God just used that to open my mind because I was about to turn a certain 30-year-old age plus whatever minus, and I was a little heartbroken about it. And God basically was like, he will never get to be as old as you are. He will never get a chance to turn his life around, graduate college, get a girlfriend, start a family, have grandkids. So what are you complaining about? And I was like, it was like a smack to the face. And oh my goodness, Raider over here with a 5232 who has decided that it's a rock fest.
Thank you for the joy you show.
Thank you, Raider. Raider's so great. Have you ladies a chance to
Yes, Raiders. I've met Raider many times.
Yes, we're a big fan of Raider.
We are.
Raider's great. I always tell people he's like this vapor in the wind, this ninja, because when you go to these conventions,
Yes.
you just turn around and there he is. And then you better keep your eye on him because you turn this way and you turn around and he's gone.
He's gone.
Gone. He just came and went. All right. If you have your brown, I have to make
Okay.
my brown. We're going to let this paint here dry. And let's see, I need blue, red, yellow is what I need to make brown. Thank you, Raider, by the way. I always get a little distracted. Like I always say, I want to pay proper homage or whatever to your graciousness. But when I'm entertaining the guests and instructing them,
The ladies.
I tend to go quicker than I probably should. So thank you. So we're getting our brown. Let me mix this on up here. Ooh. Tell you what, brown is a fickle color to make because it can go hot mess gray so quickly.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if I want to lighten the brown a little bit, do I add a little bit of white or a little bit of yellow?
You can, well, either way is not a bad route to go, but I would just make it easier on yourself and go with white. It's quite tricky. Like I'm learning that myself to start learning how to lighten and darken things without using black and white. It's
Yeah.
you have to really understand your colors. I'm working on it. It's not quite the wheelhouse. All right. Apparently we're just going to have a burgundy for today. Here we go. We got really dark brown for Tabitha. We're just going to fill this in. Now, when I said earlier about brushstroke patterns being important, when I follow this line underneath his collar, I want to make sure that I follow that line. Okay. I don't want to just willy-nilly it.
Okay.
We're going to make this all one color here in a second. But if you follow with brushstroke patterns, you
Make
as
like
it-
a line.
yeah, you'll be able to see it as it dries.
Okay. It's thundering here.
I thought I heard that. I thought that was outside here because it's been a little rainy. Here we go.
Peaceful.
I do like me a good thunderstorm, I will say. I mean,
All
they
right,
get
what
pretty
is Grogu
intense.
wearing puke. I mean, add some brown, girl.
He is wearing
Wow.
brown.
Wow. What a hater.
Wow.
Wow. Man.
Give Grogu some brown.
Man. Now I know why Michelle has such confidence, man. She out here freely telling people how poor they are.
I looked over and it was Natalie. Show the color.
Hold on, I'm not finished yet.
I feel so good about myself looking over.
Oh my gosh.
What's the Teletubby version of Grogu?
It's pretty bad.
That would be kind of cute. He could totally fit in the Teletubby world.
Oh my goodness.
It kind of looks like an Angry Bird
It's
too.
kind of like Bill Paxton's character when he melts in Weird Science.
Yeah, it's giving that a little bit, but you know what? It's my own.
Yes, own it. There you go.
Hey, I'm waiting for
Own it,
Tabitha.
baby.
I'm waiting for Tabitha to show me how to do the top part.
Yes, sorry, I was making more brown. That's kind of brown. So with this, you can still do the same thing, but I because this is not furniture, clothing. I'm not sure where furniture came from. Because this is clothing, it's okay this time around to kind of do a little bit of the choppiness.
Okay.
Yeah, I like a little chop.
You can do a little bit of choppiness. I will make it probably a little smoother up by his face just because it's easier up there. I mean, you can put different thicknesses in the clothing as far as the paint, because that way it will look already like highlights and shadows, even though we're going to add some more. Here we go. It might be difficult to see with on my end because of the camera, but I'm able to see the difference. I did leave a little bit of a gap so that maybe it'd be easier to see.
I will say, Tabitha, when I first started painting my own nails regularly, I was not that good.
But you got good.
But I got
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say I'm like good, but I'm pretty decent at it now. But I also learned, kind of like you said, even in art, I kind of learned certain textures or brands like that made certain textures that were easier to paint with.
Yeah.
And see, I know you that makes sense to you.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah,
I hate this brand.
right. But okay, yeah. So it's just like, yeah, it does make a difference too. Like formulas and things like that. Like it's not all created equal, and it's gonna affect the
Yeah.
end result.
For sure,
You need to put
because
some just actual brown, just color, like stop with the white and just put brown in. Good Lord.
maybe he's getting a glow up, you know? He just
That's right.
I am gonna put a little bit of white in there, a little extra white here, just because I'm gonna go over this section here. What is this called? The
The
cuff-
sleeve.
the cuff. Thank you, the sleeve. I was gonna say the cuff. I will tell you that learning to paint and do things while having an audience is very humbling.
Yeah, I bet.
My audience, they get to learn with me and see my struggle. I'm not like this professional artist who knows exactly what they're doing. So I really have such a struggle with making brown, and it's just like, you know what? It is what it is.
It is. It's, and I think you do amazing, of
Mhm.
course,
Thank you.
but you'll continue to, you're only going to get better the more you do it. It's like with anything.
Well, yeah, I say this all the time. I don't know if you ladies know that, but I'm a self-taught artist. So like, yeah, everything's like
Yeah.
brand new and interesting and all that. So, all right. Now, it's not like this grand brightness, but we have a start. And see, hopefully that wasn't too difficult for you.
Oh, I'm
Despite what Michelle is saying about Natalie. I'm
good.
trusting.
I think mine looks good. I can't say the same about Natalie, but
That's terrible. You're terrible. You know, I always,
she tried.
you know, Michelle she's giving big sister vibes.
She does. She does. It is kind of like that. Like she kind of takes the role of the big sister.
Yeah, I honestly, for years, that's what I thought. Then when I found out the roles were reversed, I'm like, huh.
She's like, Natalie, it's because I'm more mature than you. Like that.
I didn't say anything. I beat you.
She's like, I just beat you to it. That's all. I just gotta
bet.
come. All right, I'm getting a little bit more white for my brown, and then I'm just
Where
gonna.
are you putting it?
Wow, I can't even talk. Man, she is.
I'm lasered focused, okay?
All right, I'm just gonna kind of put it on the side. Now I know for
Okay.
for people who really want details, it's hard sometimes to instruct people because a lot of times it is instinctual. So when I say, I'm just going to kind of put it over here, I have to remind myself that that can infuriate a lot of people because they don't know how to trust their own instincts. So I am going to put it on the rim or the edge of this cuff, and I'm going to do it a little bit unevenly because, again, it is going to be catching the light from over here.
Natalie's painting is awesome.
Oh, good. Some good news.
The brilliance of it.
Oh, I can't wait. Save that grand reveal to the end because I can't wait. And I'm gonna do a little bit on the edge over here just because I can. Just a wee bit.
You know what? I think I didn't really get the stencil right, and it was kind of like from there.
Kind of up a creek without a paddle, you know what
How
I'm
did you
saying?
not get the stencil right?
Well, who says the woman who didn't know how to cut one out?
I cut mine out. Mine's looking pretty good. It's not the
Okay.
best. It's not as fast, but it's good. For a beginner, for a first timer, I feel I've done well.
Of course. All right, so then I am just going to just gonna because I don't want it to be too precise when it comes to the folds. I'll put a little bit just kind of here and there, just kind of like so. It's nothing spectacular, but it gives that illusion that there's some highlight. Make it as bright as you desire. It's up to you. You could put some really strong highlights in there if you so choose.
I know about highlight.
Amen, sister. That's something that also I have had to learn. The precision isn't always necessary for the reality. Because if you look at old pieces of artwork, you'll notice that a lot of them don't overly blend because art is actually meant to be looked at a distance.
Yeah. That makes
But
sense.
unless you want to get closer and then you'll notice, wait a minute, this isn't blended. These two colors are not merging, but when you stand back at a distance, it all comes together. I know that's why it's always a joke of, yeah, I'll just hang my picture across the street. It'll look better. It's like, well, 9 times out of 10, it probably will. Not because it's
Yeah.
bad, but because suddenly, here's another little philosophical life tip. Sometimes when you take a step back and look at things at a distance, everything just works together and you don't notice all the
True.
details and imperfections.
Very true.
All right. When we have our brown done, which I'm going to go ahead and tell you, ladies, that was the hardest part.
Sweet.
So if you've gotten the
I feel like
outfit,
the eyes are gonna be the hardest part, but okay.
no, surely not. So I'm just going to go over. I'm going to re-wet. I cleaned off my brush. I'm going to re-wet it with some green, add just a tiny bit more white, and just really accentuate.
Are you using like a really precise brush?
Nope, just using the same flat brush.
Oh.
I will let you know if I switch brushes.
I don't know if you're mixing it up on me.
No, well, you don't give me a chance, man. I better not. Even if I wanted to, I can't risk it because I know you'll take me seriously. Let me see. I did mess up his nose a little bit, so I'm going to go in and fix that. Let's see. Just darken him up a little bit. There. That's
You
okay.
put green on his nose?
Yeah, I had to darken my green up a little bit with some blue. It's shiny now. And then whenever you're done with that, we will retire. We will be doing a little bit of jumping back and forth between brushes just because different sections of our painting are drying. So I don't know if this ear on your Grogu is completely dry yet or not. Mine is not. And so we will be doing that pink, but we can save that for later. Right now, I'm going to switch over to my detail brush and we're going to be painting the inside of the eye brown.
Okay.
I'm going to try to make my brown look a little prettier. What are you guys? Like, these are so funny. You like are having an asthma attack.
She's loving my art.
feel like it's caveman.
This is
I
so
thought I made it
funny.
better.
I love this. You know, I knew that it would be great having you ladies on the show. I didn't realize it would be such a delight. Like
Aw, I'm glad we could do this.
I know.
oh my gosh. Should have done a finger painting just for Michelle.
You want another brush, Natalie? You want to?
Like a detail one.
Yeah.
Do we need a detail one?
Yes.
Yes. Do
Okay,
detailed
yeah.
for
Sweet.
what color did you say to do?
We're
Which
gonna
one
use
you-
brown
brown,
now. Yes.
and we're going in where?
We are going into the eye. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and paint the whole thing brown. I would like this to be a little darker.
You're gonna do the whole eyebrow?
Do you start out with just the like dark brown and then
Yes, and
Add
then we're gonna work our way to the highlights. Look who's learning. Look who's yeah. I accidentally made my brown red, so we're in a pickle here. Hang on, carry on. You ladies, carry on.
No, I'm
I'll be
waiting
there.
for it to
yeah, I
see
want to see how your technique here. Maybe I can
Girl, I don't
totally
jump
redeem
ahead.
myself here.
Oh, you don't jump ahead. What?
No, I don't jump ahead.
You've jumped ahead several times.
I wait.
I don't. Okay, I'm gonna have to look it up. You know, I've made brown several times for some reason. We're struggling today. Make
It happens.
brown with paint.
Make brown great again.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm using too much of whatever color. So purple and yellow. Well, it's basically gonna be red, yellow, and brown. We all know
Purple
that.
and yellow feels like it would make burgundy.
But would it though?
I guess
No.
it'd make brown, like a brown burgundy.
Well, there are different shades or tones or whatever of brown. Now,
Since you're doing your thing,
Yep.
you mean to tell me that I'm going to paint the entire eyebrow?
just the inside here. Yes,
Define the inside.
Just the part that's like you mean cover over the paint.
so
and
you
the
know
other
where
stuff.
he's like soulless right now.
Yeah, do I
She's
cover all
saying-
the blue?
I think what she's saying
Yeah.
is, do you want to leave room to make whites of the eyes? Like you know, like
We're
the
gonna paint
human eye.
over it so that we will have that.
But so will the white totally block out the brown if we just totally
Here,
fill
look,
it in
look,
brown?
we can do it.
Here
Right
we
now,
go.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
do
give
some
you an
eyeliner for
example
now.
right here.
Man, but I don't know how you do it so good.
So just paint the whole thing brown first.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
The detail.
I know. If only I could get my brown to look brown. I'd be
The
right
brown
there.
is not browning.
The brown is
Brownie
not
good.
browning. We might just totally. Well, but you know
and I
what? That's
colored in, right? All brown.
all brown. Well, I
Okay.
don't. Suddenly, what's with the distrust?
Well, I just like to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to do instead of like coloring all brown. They're like, no, girl, you're just supposed to outline it in brown.
I
I'm
know,
like,
but
well,
didn't
dang.
I say? I don't know. I'm not sure where the
I
confusion.
I like to massively know I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Now my little guy looks a little evil.
Of course he does.
He probably is evil.
I used to tell the kids, all right, so your painting's going to go through several stages of emotions. But don't worry, we'll get there. Here we go. A nice eye.
I don't know if I'd
And
say
you know,
that's
you could
right.
say that he's just
Hers is evil.
this is Grogu with the dark side of the force.
Hers is so evil. Like I think it's making me uncomfortable just looking at it like that. I feel like it's sending bad vibes.
Oh my
He's got his
god.
little hand up, like he's putting it out there. I'm a little nervous right now.
You always got to fear the short ones.
You did. That's you're probably not wrong.
No, they got the fire in them. All right.
Hell.
So, unfortunately, we do have to leave Grogu kind of evil for a second.
Okay.
Okay.
Mine's not evil like Natalie's.
He looks like he is a really,
Natalie's will sneak in your chimney and get you at night.
but yours
Is-
has a really dark vibe right now as well.
Is,
Mine looks beautiful.
Oh
You said that.
wow. Is Natalie's like an actual gremlin?
It's a gremlin,
Yeah.
A
man.
gremlin.
It
All right,
just-
so now
Yeah.
we're gonna make pink
I think we're
now. A
both-
nice, fun pink. an easy color to make because it's just 2, and we're sticking with.
Just red and white.
Yep,
Natalie's just a paint wizard over here.
she is the student has become the master. And I'm going to start over here because it's easy, I would think, to find. We're going to paint the inside.
Here, let me get the red.
Or is it though?
I'm about to find out. Michelle will let me know. For anybody that missed it, we're mixing red and white. We're using the detail brush. We're painting the
Right, so use
inside of the ear.
Okay, the detailed brush, the one I just used. What
Yep.
happened? I'm gonna get another one. I'm going through all the brushes tonight.
It happens.
Do all the brushes tonight. Gonna make it right.
And then I'm going to go ahead and outline over here to show you what the other part will be on this side.
I just keep getting red, you know?
Get more white. Put very little red.
Yeah.
Grab the white, Natalie. You barely touched the red. You mixed it up. You went for the
Oh,
red
there we go.
first.
So red is like the most powerful dye.
Yeah.
So yeah, you need very
very
little.
little.
It'll overtake you. Well, I was about to make a controversial political joke, but we'll just stay
Go
away
for
from
it.
it. No, I gotta. I want to say I try to remain neutral on my channel. That's not
Yeah.
exactly true. It just depends on the evening. So
I get that.
I think I was on Twitter for too long today. So I was like,
Gotcha.
oh,
I've been off Twitter, so I've missed the Tariff Wars and everything.
I'm telling you what, I am super excited about what's happening in Europe for not the reasons that it sounds like, but man, did you hear the speech from that Greek lady?
Oh, no, I haven't.
Oh, I'm telling you. And then there was that lady this morning from France. Woo! I never thought I'd hear it from the French. You know, I mean, the unofficial flag of the French is white, so.
Yeah, I'm so out of it right now. I've been living my own little world, Tabitha.
I
I
was
need
kind of
to.
a fascination with like French culture when I was younger. Well, I
Oh,
took
yeah.
French class, but I just always thought they were cool, or like, ooh, I feel like I'd fit in more there.
It's
than
the
I
way
do
they
here in
smoke.
Tennessee.
Yeah. It's the way they hold their cigarettes. You know, it's highfalutin and they're not all that special. Now, I have left because of the formula of my paint, it's a happy accident. My color over here is slightly darker than the one up here. That works out perfectly for me because of where our shadows are. If that does not work for you, it's okay, because if we look at our original, he's fine.
Happy accidents.
Happy accidents. And thank you everybody for hanging out with us this long.
Yes.
Painting does take quite a bit of time. I forgot to mention to the ladies how the time frame we typically aim for, but at the same time I was like, I didn't get to tell them. I never try to rush the guests. Sometimes they really get into it and they really enjoy it. So it's like, what is time frame? We don't care. I don't
Once I get into something, I get into it. So
And Michelle's into it.
because she wants to believe.
I want to believe.
Yeah, she
I want to
does.
be able to hang them up behind us.
I already believe, but Shell wants to, and that's what counts.
If I could, I would mute myself, but I would tell the chat and not let the ladies hear. But it makes me excited when I see the sliver of paint on Michelle's arm.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
Because that means you're having a good time. All right.
My
That
little guy's looking a little better. Natalie's got...
little better.
Natalie, his ear looks like a pig.
I
Well-
like that though.
Hey, we love us a good pig around here,
His
okay?
name is Chris P. Bacon.
A junior. All right. All right, so I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to, well, still using my detail brush. I've cleaned it off, right?
Okay.
And I'm gonna go back to my brown, but I'm gonna put more white into it. Well, excuse me, hang on. I am so sorry. I have jumped ahead. We're gonna go into black.
I got one more if you want it.
Sweet, thank you.
We're nearing the end, ladies.
I'm going to give you the worst.
We're nearing the end.
That's kindness right there. She's like, I'm gonna give you the worst one.
I said yours isn't good, so I'm gonna give you the
Describe
my
growing up with Michelle in one sentence.
I feel that
Yeah,
was
I'm gonna give you
I
the
feel
worst
that was rational. Mine has a shot. Yours is so
I'm like, okay, thank
Wow. So you're telling me that Michelle, the minister, would be the type of person that says, "Give me the better shoes because the gimp ain't gonna use them anyway."
you. Yeah, that's it.
she's on your feet, ma'am. Why does she need shoes?
She actually said it. She actually said, I knew I liked you ladies. Oh my gosh. For more than just handicap jokes. Oh my gosh.
We'll be
Well,
here all
see,
week.
oh no, some water hit my canvas and now I have a random cloud on my canvas. Oh well. We're gonna go into the eyes.
Okay, so
And-
what colors did we say we do? White?
I'm sorry, we're using black. I had to backtrack a
Oh,
step.
black. I need to
I'm-
get black.
Yeah, I had to backtrack a step. I was going to jump ahead and I didn't mean to do that. But we're going to give him a nice eyeball. Well, I say eyeball. We're going to give him a nice pupil, excuse me. So we want him to be looking up into this direction because that's where we're going to put our little firefly or lightning bug, wherever you come from.
I can only
And-
imagine how interesting this is gonna be.
So here's the thing. Once you go black,
You can't
you
go
never
back.
go back. And so, I mean, sort of. But so we want to start off small, okay? Because we can always increase the size of the orb, because you don't want to make it too big and then he's looking in different directions. Okay.
Yeah.
So I start up here and we're gonna make another parentheses like that. Excuse me. Let me make this big. Yeah, I call them frowny faces, or this time it's a smiley face, but a little parentheses, a little banana, whatever you need to call it. Hey, Shock Willie says, I've always said I'll only settle for 3 wives. I mean, the other day on Kick, I got offered to be somebody's 4th wife. He told me I was beautiful and that he wanted to make me his 4th wife and then feed me petroleum for breakfast. And I told him, no, sir, if you're going to be doing that, I need to be number 1. Sorry. I need to be the 1st wife. All right. So then I'm going to fill this in. Here we go.
So real quick, I went out to my car after work today and I had a little note from an envelope ripped off with a guy's a note and a little flower that he had clearly taken from the bush
Oh, no.
right by the car. But it's a thought that counts. And it left his name and number. So, shout out to Ramon.
You know, if you want to, I don't know how you feel, ladies. I feel like that I'm just at that certain age, though, that if you want to get with this, if you want to have a chance with this, spend money and buy a flower. Like, don't just rip it from the sidewalk just because it's there. Like, you really want this?
Well, I think it was an impromptu thing. And what was cute too is I think he thought that I saw him in his truck because he said I was the man in the gold truck with the sunglasses on. And I'm like, sir, I did not see you. I was not aware of the gold truck.
Listen,
Oh,
I'm
no.
focused on what to do with this eye, and you're talking about this truck.
She's talking about the gold truck. All right. So this is kind of small. So I'm going to make it a little bigger because Grogu has those big bulbous eyes.
Okay, so you're gonna make another little thing.
Yep. Another little smiley face. Feel like now this is unfortunately for Michelle. This is where creative eye comes in, no pun intended, but this is where you do need to judge it for yourself because
Yeah.
our parents, well, they are very different, but our perspective and our creation is slightly different from one another. So you need to adjust to where your eye would need to point and how big and stuff like that, just because yours is going to be slightly different, but it's still the same principle. I think this is a good size for me. So I'm going to go over to the other eye and do the exact same thing.
Up and down.
Don't do the grand
No,
reveal.
do it later. Natalie, you just got me dirty.
This is so funny.
Why? You're senseless.
A senseless act of violence, lady.
It was unnecessary.
Oh my gosh. Is it true that YouTubers do not date their fans? You would have to ask a lot of them. Tabitha, can you be
Just
my
never
first
know.
wife? Oh, wait, I don't want Gina as my sister-in-law. A little argument could get my neck snapped. That's right. That's right. I'm her spirit sister, so don't at me. She even told me that she told her mother about me. Isn't that sweet?
Aw, that's
So sweet.
sweet.
Be like, I'm one in the family. I'm not, but all right. So I'm gonna do over here again the same thing, starting with a little smiley face. See if it kind of lines up. I can already tell he got a crooked eye, so we gotta fix it. It's a little too over the side, so I will fix it a little bit. Looks a little better. It doesn't help that, see, the humbling part too is that I am good at painting, okay? But
are.
when you do it from this angle, because I have a light, a camera, and a
Mhm.
microphone in my face, I can't really look down at my picture, so I'm looking at it at an angle, so it's hard to tell if it's
Yeah.
accurate. So let
Right.
me move this really quickly so that way I don't look like a complete dinkus.
Dingus.
Prove to people I actually know what I'm doing. Here we go.
Eyes on mine. Like he's annoyed.
The eyes on yours are a little scary. Just a little.
Okay, now I also have made the pupil of this eye just a little bit bigger because, again, perspective, this eye is slightly bigger. You're doing great. Thank you, Stephen TV. I know. We got some of the greatest fans in the community that are so encouraging. Percolated.
Yes.
Okay.
Boom.
I think I made it work.
I feel good about
No, it's gonna get better. Trust the process. Okay, so then I'm clean off my brush, and then I'm gonna go into the brown with a little bit of white. I know I said a long time ago that we're near the end. The way that artists look at near the end, it's not necessarily about the time, it's about the steps. So, like in my mind, we're almost done because we are only a few steps to go. But
Yeah.
then realizing that, well, those steps do take a little bit of time.
I get that in a different way. Yeah.
Okay, so you said brown and white.
A little bit of brown and white, and so we're just going to make the eyes look a little poppy, little fun flare. I'm just going to do a little flick of lines around here to make it look like they're nice and bright. They don't have to be perfect because if you've ever looked really closely at somebody's eyes, the little tendrils, I forget exactly what they're called in there. They
Yeah, I
look
know what you're
all,
talking about.
yeah, they're all kinds of wonky and cool looking.
Almost like a flower pattern up close. Like if you take a
Mhm.
picture of an eye with an underlight. It's,
Or the surface of Mars, you know? It's just
Yeah.
kind of. There we go.
striations. Maybe that's the word.
It could be. Striations. I like it. The fissures. I don't know. There we go. I think I have one eye a little brighter than the other. Let's see if we can match that. There we go. So that's the neat thing about eyes and the colors as well. When you make them nice and bright, it just kind of makes them look, number one, cuter. It makes them look more innocent, more joyful. So I'm going to.
That's why I like my tight line, my lower eyeliner. I use like cream pencils or like a flesh tone pencil because it's such a little thing, but it kind of opens the eyes up more.
It does.
So yeah, I get that.
You'll see that with the with a lot of Asian makeup as well. They want to
Yeah,
make their
they're-
eyes look bigger, so they do. They put the
They're
white
actual
on the
white,
waterline, or they put actual white underneath to make it. Yeah, for sure.
To really
right.
pop, yeah.
Going into just pure white, this is where we're going to add just a little smidge of white over here in this corner, like a nice little isosceles triangle. I don't know if that's the actual triangle, but, you know, I just wanted to sound impressive, you know.
Boom.
Now, I know that the white paint is still Still drying. But we can take this paint and layer it on top of it. And even if it smudges a little bit, it's actually in our favor. But I'm going to get a generous amount of white on my brush. Like it's a pretty bulbous amount. And I'm going to put a nice little white dot right there. Because that also, like the more catch lights you have in an eye, the more outrageously cute and innocent something looks. They do it in anime all the time.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
going to try to match it on both sides if I can. Immediately makes the Grogu's eyes look more full of life.
Yes.
Luscious.
Light.
And you can put as many in there as you want. I don't recommend doing that, but I put a little swoosh. Hang on, I get some paint off, and then I'll just do a little swoosh. Get some more, take some off, and do a little swoosh. Whoops, that one had a little too much white. Let me swoosh some black in there. Got to clean it up a little bit. We can recover. There we go. A little too much because that eye is a little further away from our light source. It's funny. I'm starting to understand that Michelle now paints with the confidence of a high school jockey.
She does. She does that with everything. It's amazing. Like I said, I want more of it. I'm just growing into that. In my
She's
old age.
feeling it. Okay. All right. Great. So now all we got to do, we're going to switch out that brush for our. Now, you know what? I think for our ladies tonight, we should stick with the detail brush. We're going to clean off our detail brush, and we're going to go into yellow and make our little firefly. And that will be our final step, unless you ladies feel that your painting needs more flowers.
We might need some more flowers.
Yeah, I might need to flower
All right.
it a little.
But before that, you said going to yellow.
Yep, I'm going to go into yellow. It's not going to be quite as visible, but this is kind of the same thing with outlining Grogu's face, where it just gives us an idea of where stuff is going to be. And obviously, everybody's background is different. We're just going to start off with it, because this is, again, a space bee, so it doesn't really matter. But he is looking up, so kind of follow your eyes, the ear into a guideline. It's going to be somewhere around here, right? Because he's going to be looking at it. Like, you could even just put your finger or your brush, and you're like, okay. So I'm just going to make somehow I've got a little bit of brown in there. Don't do that.
I think I might have done that too.
It's okay. So I'm going to it depends on how big you want to make this. I'm making it a generous size so it's easier for you to see. You don't have to make it this big.
So it's kind of like a circle.
Yep, it's a circle. I try to keep it real simple. It's a circle, and then we're just going to do a little swoosh in the back, kind of like a really soft triangle, like so. Little Nike flare at the top. Little tadpole, basically. Little tatterpole. The golden snitch. Yeah. And then I'm going to make some wings that are basically, I like to call them soft pyramids. When I say this, it's because pyramids, triangles, they always have these sharp edges. But when you do them soft, they're kind of a little bit rounded, a little fat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, it's kind of like that.
Artwork of ladies in the 1800s. Those rounded edges. Beautiful.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was interesting. I was at an art museum, excuse me, not too long ago, and there was this picture of Moses being pulled out of the river, given to the princess of Egypt. And it was all white people, and they were all dressed like it was the 17th or 16th century. And it looked like it was in France or something like that. And I was with a friend, and I was like, the thing is, people would look at this today and they think that it's all racist, that all the white people were racist back then and always have been. And look at that. They're trying to whitewash history and all this kind of stuff. It's like, no, you have to understand the times. Context is super important in this placement. Back then, people didn't have the internet. A lot of people were not enlightened to the world. Most people didn't even know like, they probably couldn't even list, 10 countries unless you read books. And that wasn't necessarily common. That was just for the rich people. And women, it was preferred that women were stupid because why would women need to be intelligent? That was just the way that it was. And so most Europeans who were artists weren't aware of what culture was like in Egypt, thousands of years ago. So in their mind, of course, royalty is going to look like what they know, which is them, light skin colored people. And royalty to them is, of course, a palace and pearls and silk slippers and stuff like that. And so it's not about whitewashing history. It's more about just being ignorant.
Yeah, totally.
Totally about being ignorant. Hey, it's TD. What is up? Says, hey, Tabitha and Lettuce.
Hey,
How are
TD.
you, TD? Hope you're doing well. All right, with our little golden stitch, I'm going to add a little bit of white and just kind of go over it. Just lighten up a couple areas, have some fun with it, play around with it, because I don't want it to be just yellow, but that gives us a good idea of where everything is.
Girl, I've already moved to making me more flowers.
Oh, well, look, who's the star student suddenly? And she's like, I don't need the teacher. Whatever. I have not, Grape. I have not read that. Might have to look into that. In my original one, I did add some blue to it. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. If you're not ready for the challenge, like maybe Michelle is, I don't know. She's quite the enigma tonight.
She is.
I'm just going to do it for funsies to be consistent. And, well, there you go.
Oh, my flower just got good. Now I'm feeling myself.
She is. You know what? Maybe flowers are going to be in Michelle's niche. You never know. It's up to you if you wanted to do, more flowers, if you wanted to do an outline. I personally am not the biggest fan of outlining. I like the soft approach. That's my kind of thing. I did do a little bit of outlining in the clothing in my original one. This is the one that I did when I had no stress in my life. And so that's why it's a little different from the one that I've done tonight. By the way, everybody, I've sold several of my paintings that I've done live or whatever. If you're interested in the original Grogu painting, you can always reach out to me at dreamingtabitha@gmail.com. You can talk to me if you're interested. I've sold, like I said, several of the paintings. One of my personal favorites was my Indiana Jones Stargate crossover oil painting. Sometimes I'm sad I let that one go, but I'm glad that it's in a happy home. But yeah, at the end of the day, here's our little Grogu. You can touch him up however you want, but there he is, master of light and darkness for a short while there.
I want to see him again. You put some glue in that bug.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, just a little bit. Blue and white.
Blue and white. Okay.
How much for Natalie and Michelle's paintings? Oh, it sounds like they're going on the wall. We don't know.
They're going to be pricey.
They're going to be pricey.
So I don't know if any of you, it's going to cost a lot of coins.
Hey, you are Cynthia over on Kick. Aloha, blissful Tabitha. How are you flowing and glowing?
I feel good about mine.
I am flowing and glowing, but I wish I was glowing as much as Michelle. She is like, I have done it. She is like, check, put it on my resume.
I dominated.
Picasso.
Oh my God.
No.
Out of the way.
Okay, so the thing is, it's time for the grand reveal. So if you would do us a favor, ladies, how did your Grogu turn out?
Okay. Hold on. Let me get him ready. It's got to be a reveal here.
Just treating it like a newborn baby.
All right. It is my baby. Here's my Grogu.
Oh, the flowers look like they're floating, like he's using the force, like they're floating around him.
He's so cute. I did good.
Oh, it's so good. Wow. Look at the depth and the contrast there. It does, Michelle. It looks like the flowers are floating, like he's using the force to make the flowers float around him.
I love it.
That's so cute. Those flowers are good.
No, that looks amazing. Honestly.
I'm hanging this sucker up.
You painted that. Yes, you did.
She did
All right.
that, you guys.
We got to know what Natalie's
Let's
looks
see
like.
Natalie's.
Okay, we're not going to laugh at Natalie the way Michelle does. We're nice around here.
You
Maybe,
can if
I don't
you
know.
want to. I don't take it too seriously.
Oh, he's so cute. Oh my gosh. She's so happy. Wow, they're so different.
They
Oh my
are.
gosh. I love it. Oh my gosh. The chat is saying that they are great. Wow, Michelle looks
Aw.
great, Michelle. That's very good. Claps, cute rainbows.
I don't know. I'm seeing a
cute
lot
Natalie.
of nice Michelle's.
Adorable. Watch out. They're saying good work over on Kick. Nice, bravo, vibrant and cute. Michelle and Natalie, you definitely need to hang those on the wall or sell them at a
They're
high
so
price,
really
you know.
cute.
You just got to seal it with a kiss and all the guys will be like, "Can I have it?" You know, you can give it to Julio or whoever it was, that guy that was in the golden truck.
Ramon.
Ramon.
Be a little lipstick, pink lipstick.
Do you
right
know
there
that's
in the
sometimes
corner
how
with
people
Natalie.
sign their stuff? Everybody's got their own way of signing their paintings. I knew a lady that every time she painted, she always took her pinky, dipped it in hot pink, and put it somewhere in her painting, and that's how she signs her paintings.
Oh, that's cool.
Charlie says, "Force of Light art auction coming soon." Oh my goodness,
ready.
they were so good. You did good, ladies.
Thank you.
For not knowing how to use a stencil, I'm mighty proud.
I mean, I didn't know how to do anything, but
That's
I
really
learned.
good. You I love the boom. No, oh, and Natalie's is so happy. Like it's so good.
It's the Teletubbies. He's it's kind of like it's giving me like happy 70s vibes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Grogu, yes, if Grogu was made by George Lucas in the 70s, this
Yeah.
is how it would
it would have
look.
looked more like this.
Oh, yours has a dark aura though too. You
It
got
does.
strong with the shadows, which is really, really cool. I like
Yeah.
it. I like it a lot. I mean, I have to say that though.
The thing is to keep smiling and never look as if you disapprove.
That's just the art teacher life. No, but they look so good. Snaps for everybody. I appreciate the time spent here. I have had a blast. I hope you ladies have
Yeah, it was
enjoyed
fun.
Yes.
doing
me
this.
too.
And
I'm proud.
everybody, Michelle created Darth Grogu. Oh, thank you. See, finally, TD gets me. Great job teaching, Tabitha. Everybody was
She's a great
Yes.
teacher.
You did good.
I tried to tell you, but maybe I didn't put enough booms when I said, boom, I'm a great teacher. I'm a great teacher. Boom. Like, maybe I just need to have Michelle's comments. Oh, one last super chat. The real Steven TV, your $2 says good night and sweet dreams, Michelle, Natalie, and Tabitha. Good night to all of you. Hit the like button on your way out. Michelle and Natalie's information is in the description box down below or in the pinned comment over on Kick. If you want to have the force of light in your life, you should check out their channel. Always a blast. Anything coming up for you ladies?
Let's see. Go check out our first time watching reaction of the Accountant with Ben Affleck.
Yes.
Is that a newer movie or older movie?
It came out in 2016. The new one comes out in like 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. Didn't even know that.
I didn't know it existed.
Oh, what do you know? You're not even a nerd.
Exactly. Not even a real nerd.
She's not a real nerd.
Catch you guys.
If I was watching this video, I would like it. I would like the video and I would probably subscribe because this is so thoroughly entertaining and also well executed. It's a